A woman never belongs to you. It's just your turn. You lost your edge, she lost attraction for you. That's how it works. What'd you think she was gonna do? Tell you she cheated? Men cannot afford to get complacent in relationships. Get your fat ass off the couch, start lifting weights, and learn game. You're welcome.
And now your man,
Donovan Sharpe.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 917th edition of TSR Live, your daily dose of toxic masculinity, misogyny, and small bleep energy. It is Friday, January 6th of 2023. It is good to have you guys in today. As always, we are streaming live simultaneously to Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, mgdow.tv, Manosphere.tv, DLive, Rumble, Twitter, and of course, and crystal clear high-resolution 4K to Sharpe Stream, which is absolutely free on the App Store for iOS and the Google Play Store for Android. So however you're watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharpe Reality Live a part of your daily routine. Shout out to the snipers on the Sharpe Stream side. Looks like I'm really the only one on the Sharpe Stream app. So shout out to Donovan Sharpe on the Sharpe Stream side. Shout out to the sharpshooters on the YouTube side. The Level Up Man. Good to see you in here. Shane Will Lynn. Good to see you in here as well. Jay Blaze is in the house, as always. Good to see you in here as well. Got a fantastic show in store for you guys today. Obviously, I'm going to be reacting. I'm going to be reacting to the Saucecast that Pearl was on yesterday, along with a couple of OnlyFans girls that have sort of a wannabe podcast. We'll get into that. I'm also going to talk about an article that Devin sent me from Outkick that says former OnlyFans top earner says she had sex more times than she showered in 2022. I didn't stutter. She said she had sex more times than she showered in 2022. Hashtag bitches be nasty. Bitches be nasty. But I'm going to start with a let me bring this out here. I'd like to address yet another criticism that Pearl seems to be getting. And before we get to that, I'm going to show you a post. I'm going to show you a post that I put up and some of the comments to it. So yesterday I put up a post with pictures of Kevin Samuels, Myron Gaines, and Pearl. I used all the same pictures, 3 pictures for each person. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's do this. Let's just go ahead and show you what it was. And the reason I did this was just to kind of highlight the mark that I've had on the Manosphere. Just to highlight, my contribution. I said I'm extremely proud to have had a small part of the success of Kevin Samuels, Fresh and Fit, and Pearl. I take tremendous pride in helping my friends attain this level of achievement. Now, if I could figure out how to be just as good as they are at content, I'd be good to go. So these are pictures, of course, and this is just to show. And this isn't a flex, right? A lot of people say, well, this is a flex. Listen, say what you want. It is what it is. But I think it's pretty clear that there are a lot of people that have no idea that before Kevin died, I've been tight with Kevin Samuel, or I had been tight with Kevin Samuels for almost 6 years. Almost 6 years. I had him on for the very first time back in 2018. You guys can see there he is as a panelist on the 6 legendary panel. I had him in studio for a one-on-one with Donovan Sharpe, and here is me and him talking about the aftermath of Average at Best. The next pictures I put up were with Myron Gaines. A lot of people don't realize that I had Myron on my platform before they started the whole Fresh and Fit thing, right? And again, I'm not taking credit for their success. I tell this to Myron all the time when I'm at the studio. He always thanks me. Thank you, Donovan. Without you, I wouldn't be here. And I tell him, Myron, look, I appreciate it, but you guys are at 1 million. You guys are now at 1.1 million subscribers, right? It's obvious that neither Kevin, Myron, nor Pearl needed me. They didn't need me to get big. They took what little they took what little influence I had, exposed them to a broader audience, and they ran with the ball. They did all the work. All I did was give them an opportunity. And it was dude, it's no skin off my back. It's no skin off my back to give somebody an opportunity. It really isn't. I don't want anything. Nobody owes me anything. I'm just happy to help. Listen, life has been good to me. I've made a lot of mistakes, but life has been very, very good to me. And the red pill community, the Manosphere, has changed my life. And the way I sort of pay it forward is I help people who I think have talent. Kevin clearly had talent, albeit a late bloomer. I recognized very early that Myron was a big-time talent. Those of you guys who have followed me for a while, you guys remember when I told you on Sharpe Stream that I'm going to hitch my wagon to someone who's new in the community. And I told you, I said, Myron Gaines is the next superstar, and he was. So there's Myron. He was my very first guest in studio B for One-on-One with Donovan Sharpe. Here he is on a panel of the 6 early on. This is before he moved, actually. This is before he moved to the Panorama Tower. And this, of course, is the Weights and Dates podcast that we had. This was when Myron had first built the Fresh and Fit studio. Then I put up pictures of me and Pearl. This, of course, is when Pearl came, she came out here to Jersey, had her on for that. Then, of course, there she is in the bottom right-hand corner. This is the Not All Women podcast starring your boy, Devin, Tallulah, Janelle, Allie, and Pearl, all of which, except with the exception of Tallulah, all of which were at the CME. And this is me and Pearl doing a one-on-one podcast interview, just how she got started, how she's going, and how she's doing, right? I just did this to show people, hey, you know what? I'm not just a nobody, right? Like, I think I'm pretty good at spotting talent. I think I'm pretty good at spotting gems before they shine. That doesn't make me special, doesn't make me unique. I'm just happy. I'm just happy to have had, a small part of, have to do with a small part of their success, They certainly didn't need me. Like I said, they would have done this with or without me, but I'm glad to have been lucky enough to be a part of their beginnings. That's just kind of how it is. And so, so I got a comment, and it's always the typical sort of thing here. Let me see here. There we go. Yeah, there are a lot of, there we go. All right. There we go. All right, very good. So, all right. All right. Oh, that was a cha-ching. Sorry, guys. I know this is choppy. I apologize. Oh, there we are. Okay. There we go. So, the comment was made by Crisp. The comment was made by a dude whose screen name is Crisp. And so, in response to this, he says, it doesn't take much effort. Pearl is successful because she is a woman, which is rare in the red pill community. Myron is successful because he is loud and blunt, to which women is also rare in general. And at least Kevin put in effort and was actually not only entertaining, but also very smart and gave us a lot of game, which people like Myron and Pearl just repeat. So the first comment was by a Dare or a Dare Powell. I'll call him Mr. Powell. He says, quote, I was with you on the Pearl part, But Myron is definitely better than Kevin in most ways. Look, that's his opinion. He's entitled to it. If he thinks Myron is better than Kevin, fine. Some people think Kevin's better. Depends on who you ask. He continues. He says, Myron is more intelligent as he is a Fed. No surprise there. The Fresh and Fit channel also teaches you money on Mondays, money on Money Mondays, where they bring on guests, billionaires, multimillionaires, etc. Ain't no way Kevin Samuels add as much value as Myron. No way. I respectfully disagree with Mr. Powell, but it is what it is. Pearly Things, however, copied both men. She acts like Kevin and stole the Fresh and Fit style. That's a fact. The men in the red pill are sellouts. For so long, they've been saying they need their own thing. How women have all the shows, etc., and we don't have nothing. But now here we are doing our own, but they let a woman lead the manosphere. Shake my head. Shameful. I responded. I said if it were that easy, then everyone would do it. What they did, Kevin Samuels, took Kevin, quite a bit of effort. They made it look easy, which is why you think it doesn't take much effort. Dare Powell, Mr. Powell, says, Donovan Sharpe, fair points. But but my opinion, and he says, but it's my opinion, and it's still shameful to see a female-led Red Pill podcast that stole Fresh and Fit whole style catch up and will most likely surpass them in subs. Nobody owns a style. Don't mean she didn't steal Fresh and Fit whole setup. Call Myron and ask him if he don't think she stole their style. I bet he say yes. Well, Mr. Powell, first of all, we need to learn to speak proper English. That's the first thing. That's the first thing I would say. So this is my final response to him. I said, stealing is a crime and is illegal. Did people accuse Oprah Winfrey of stealing the styles of Sally Jesse Raphael or the Geraldo Rivera talk shows? Does anybody accuse Gordon Ramsay of stealing the setup of a slew of other cooking shows before he came to America? Of course not. Pearl saw what worked and replicated the process, which, by the way, was not easy to do. You can dislike the fact that a female content creator is surpassing everyone in the Red Pill sphere, but the fact of the matter is that people watch her channel because it's entertaining and educational. She didn't steal anything from anybody because Fresh and Fit don't own the style. There are plenty of Fresh and Fit copycats out there, but she's the only one who's been successful at it, and that's why she's getting so much hate, which comes with the territory anyway. So you can think it's shameful if you want to. That's your opinion, and you're entitled to it. But you don't have to watch. And trust me, she does not need your viewership or approval because over 1 million people have already done it. P.S. And if I were to call Myron and ask him if he thinks Pearl stole her style, he would say no. Why? Because he knows he doesn't own the format, and he also knows that stealing is a crime. And that brings us back around to the criticism. The general consensus around the people that don't really endorse her. And that is that Pearl has stolen the Fresh and Fit model. She parrots talking points. She regurgitates things she's heard from Myron, Rollo, and so forth. Obviously, there was the comment. I got news for you. When we first enter in this community, everybody parrots everybody. Yes, we add a few of our own personal anecdotes. Maybe some of us have our own personal style. But for the most part, we all parrot off of each other. We all use each other's talking points all the time. So now all of a sudden that Pearl is doing it, that's a problem? Here's another thing. I got news for you. Nobody owns a style, guys. Fresh and Fit didn't copyright the format. They weren't the first podcast to ever bring modern women from the outside to discuss dating and relationships with them. There were plenty who were already doing that. But the reason they were, or the reason they are where they are, is because they're the best at it. How do we know? Well, look at their subscribers. Over 1 million. The market has spoken, and it's telling us that Fresh and Fit provide value. Well, Pearl has replicated this formula. She saw that the formula works, she replicated it, and is enjoying similar success. She didn't steal a formula. She simply duplicated it. Again, stealing is a crime. What Pearl has done is not a crime. But guys are steady bitching and moaning about Pearl stole Fresh and Fit's model. Let me ask you guys something. Does anyone accuse Bobby Flay of stealing Emeril Lagazi's cooking competition format? No, they don't. Yes, Emeril was the first to do it, but that doesn't mean that other shows are not allowed to copy the format. Emeril showed that brand of cooking competition gets ratings. The Iron Chef copied that format, in essence, and now we have more cooking shows than we can watch. Gordon Ramsay, Wolfgang Puck, Rachel Ray, the late Anthony Bourdain, Guy Fieri, Lorena Garcia, and on and on and on. Nobody ever accuses these people of stealing a format. People watch because it's compelling content that educates people on the many dimensions of the culinary world. Here's another question. Did anyone accuse Ricky Lake of stealing the format from Oprah Winfrey? Did anyone accuse Jenny Jones of stealing the format from Phil Donahue? Did anyone accuse Steve Wilkos for stealing Jerry Springer's formula? No. Television companies saw a formula that worked and they replicated it. Guys, this applies to everything. Everything. Does anyone accuse Victoria Stilwell for stealing Cesar Millan's formula? Does anyone accuse NBC for stealing the cop show formula made popular by CBS? How many cop shows do we have now that are similar? How many lawyer shows are similar? How many medical shows are similar? Did anyone accuse Fox for stealing the concept of a medical show, ER, when they rolled out Dr. House? Does anybody accuse Chevy of stealing the formula for combustible engines from Ford? The point is that if people want to be successful, they look at what successful people are doing, and then they do it. Just because you did it first doesn't mean that someone else isn't allowed to copy the formula. Here's another thing. It is not easy to copy the Fresh and Fit formula. Getting women to show up in one place 3 to 4 times a week is hard. People act like you could just decide to be the next Fresh and Fit and voila, 1 million subs. No. You got to have a staff. You got to have a producer. You've got to have a sound engineer, a camera guy, and most importantly, recruiters. I can guarantee you that both Myron and Pearl could talk forever at length about the frustrations that come with recruiting. Getting guests to come on. Shit's not easy. And like I said, Mr. Powell, if it was that easy, then everyone would do it. But it's not, and that's why they don't. A while back, I hosted a panel called The Seven. Started out as The Six, and eventually became the Seven. The panel, of course, as you guys remember, was myself, Kevin Samuels, Myron Gaines, Mr. Lucario, Solo TV 84, Minister Japp, and Steve the Dean Williams. There was one episode we did entitled How to Become a High-Value Man, and during that episode, Lucario and Steve indirectly accused Alpha Male Strategies for stealing their talking points. Their argument was, we did it first, so we should get the credit. And when Kevin told them, just because you're first doesn't entitle you to anything, he also said that just because you have better content doesn't mean you'll have more subscribers. He told them straight up, he said, okay, so you said X, Y, and Z first, but then someone comes along and does what you do better than you can't complain. He said the market decides what is valuable and what's not the individual. Pearl's detractors are well within their right to criticize and scrutinize. That's actually a good thing. I think criticism and scrutiny, I think it helps to keep content creators accountable and helps them to improve the quality of their content. But to use the she copied Fresh and Fit argument as a reason to dislike her, it's unnecessary. If you don't like Pearl because you don't think it's fair that she's shot past just about everyone seemingly overnight, then just say that. And if we're being honest, that's really what this is about. This goes back to professional jealousy. Everyone's using all of these reasons as a way to cloak their envy of her. Again, Pearl hasn't stolen anything. Bringing on modern women and watching them make fools of themselves doesn't belong to anyone. As I stated before, stealing is not a crime, but it's time to call a spade here. Anyone who bags on Pearl for copying the Fresh and Fit model simply doesn't like her because she's a girl, and that's okay. If you don't like what Pearl's doing because she is a woman in a predominantly male space, that's fine. Me personally, I don't like it when females give their opinions on the performance of male athletes. But do I watch it day after day and complain about it? No, I just don't watch. If you don't like what Pearl's doing, then don't watch. But all the lame excuses, you idiots spend more time than you should writing these essays about why you think she's somehow doing something wrong is nothing more than an inefficient way of saying I don't like her. Look at this. Dude, look at this wall of text. All you have to do is say I don't like her. That's all you got to do. If you don't like her, then just say so. You don't have to explain yourself. You can dislike someone for no good reason. That doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you weak. But pretending you have a problem with something she's doing that's also been done by countless creators, countless television networks, countless television shows, and countless products is fucking lame. Just say, I don't like the bitch, and leave it at that. But the reason you feel the need to explain yourself is because you know that your inherent disdain for her and other females in the space is probably unfounded. And guess what? That's okay too. It's okay to like women for no good reason. It's okay to not like women in the space for no good reason. But stop lying about pretending to care about the integrity of the intellectual property rights of intangible things that simply cannot be owned. Pearl is a far better content creator than most of us. That's the bottom line. The numbers clearly bear that out. You can pretend that she's terrible at what she does, but over 1 million people vehemently disagree with you. And that is more than enough as far as most fair-minded people are concerned. And that is the memo. It really is amazing. It really is amazing to me how many people have come out of the woodworks who just hate on her. To me, it's laughably transparent. All these bullshit excuses people come up with, it's ridiculous. If you don't like Pearl, just say, hey, you know what? I don't like the bitch. I don't like bitches in the Manosphere. Cool. Then don't watch. If you don't like it, don't watch. Nope. Nope. Dude, it's so much easier to bitch and moan about what's fair and what's not than actually improving yourself. Go figure. All right, let's read some super chats before we continue here. Black Wolf Inc. with the $5 super chat says, I only see Pearl's success as your success, Donovan. You became somewhat of a kingmaker at the moment, and I think you'll find the next soon. Yeah, I think I probably have. And that's the Sabo brothers. Kyle says Howard Stern was the OG of bringing hoes on the air. Exactly. Take off your top. Yeah? Just take off your top. I remember he had Brandy Love in the studio one time. Purple Pill Pod with the $20 super chat says, Black Pill gatekeepers are goofy. Just admit you hate capitalism. Standing on the shoulders of giants is literally one of the laws of power. People just jealous. Thank you. Exactly. Guys like that hate capitalism. It's a meritocracy. Just because you think it sucks, listen, if you think her show sucks, fine, then don't watch. Why are you complaining about something if you don't like what she's doing? Fine. Just say, you know what? I don't like watching bitches in the Manosphere. Cool. I don't blame you. But I would caution you, she really does bring some value when she makes her talking points and when she has these people on. Well, she just copies what Rolo and Myron says. Yeah, we all do. We all parrot talking points. Way back in 2017, when I first started, I was parroting the talking points of AMS, Alan Roger Curry, Rolo Tomasi, all those guys. Dude, Roosh, I was copying all, and over time, I, kind of got my own style, came up with my own sayings, and well, here we are. Very good. Very, very good. Before we take a look at this breakdown, I'd like to talk about this. This article that the lovely and talented Devin sent to me. And oh, by the way, Devin is downstairs getting her hair did. Little does she know, she's gonna be wearing this tonight, and she's gonna get her she's gonna get her back blown out. My sausage game has improved. Thanks to some penis exercises and a little bit of pharmaceutical help. Your boy is no longer, your boy is not a 1 minute man, at least for now, right? Like, dude, listen, man, there are some guys who can just be, a freaking porn star every day. Sterling Cooper's probably one of them. I'm not that guy. I wish I could be. I'm not. I go through streaks, peaks, and valleys. And listen, it probably has a lot to do with my weight gain. I probably gained about 20, 25 pounds this week. I've worked out hard, and all of a sudden, wait a minute. Hang on a second. and all of a sudden, my dick game has improved markedly. So I'm going to send Devin that text of what she is going to be wearing. Let me see here. Give me a second. Shout out to, give me a second here. Shout out to Buddha Brother says, so you basically saying you're all just grifting. Let me do something here. I'm going to look up the definition of a grifter. Because losers like Buddha Brother, what they don't realize is that they're all, like the term grifter, the way they use it in this community, it's all wrong. It's all wrong. They're using they're using the word improperly. So let's go to the definition of a grifter. A person who engages in small-scale swindling. A person who engages in petty or small-scale swindling. I mean, put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat. If you have purchased something from me, any of my courses, books, video, whatever the case may be, if you've purchased something from me, put a one in the chat if you received the product. Put a double one in the chat if you not only received the product, but the product also helped you. There we go. There we go. I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait. Buddha Brother says, Jesus, it's butter like butter. No, I'm gonna call you Buddha because that's the way it's spelled. I'm sorry, I don't speak hood. I don't speak hood, Buddha Brother. Sorry, I don't speak, I'm not fluent in nigga. You have to come correct like that. You have to come correct like that. Like I'm supposed to know how to pronounce some ghetto ass hood nigga shit that you putting out here on YouTube. Jesus, you should know this stuff. How should I know? I'm not a hood nigga. Fuck out of here. Speak proper English. Exactly. A person who engages in petty or small-scale swindling. I haven't swindled anybody. Everything that anyone has ever bought from me, they have received. They have received it, and they have gotten value. If I were a grifter, that would be me saying, "Hey, buy my latest new ebook for $20. You pay me the $20, I don't deliver the ebook." Guess what? That is swindling. That is small-scale swindling. What is the meaning of a grifter? A grifter might be a pickpocket, a crooked gambler, scammer, or a confidence man. Grift may have come from graft, a slightly older word meaning, quote, to acquire dishonesty. To acquire dishonesty. Everyone accused me of being a grifter when I started the CME. Oh, look, it's another cash grab. Y'all, I lost $125,000 on the first CME. 125 G's. And my dumbass turned around and did it again. Now, the second CME, thankfully, I didn't lose quite as much, but I didn't make any money. I've lost a total of $130,000 doing the CMEs. Everyone that came to the CME had a great time. They got what they paid for. Everyone who purchases my products got what they paid for. A scammer is someone who, it's a bait and switch. It's a bait and switch. They say they're going to give you one thing and then they do another. I don't engage in petty, small swindling. So these people who use the word grifter, you guys are fucking idiots. All you guys are doing is listening to all the black pill guys. And you know how intelligent those guys are, right? So, but I appreciate the $4. I appreciate the $4. But, fuck off. I appreciate the money. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this article before we get into the, people who call us grifters. they're just mad that they can't make money on YouTube like we do. That's why they're upset. If we didn't make the money, if we didn't live the lives that we live, if we didn't live the lives that we did, then we'd be they wouldn't have shit to say. A former OnlyFans model, oh, wait a minute. Former OnlyFans top earner says she had sex more times than she showered in 2022. A former OnlyFans model who spent time as a platform's top earner when she was making $100,000 a month, Jesus, is grabbing the internet's attention for a much different reason. She sent out a tweet recapping her 2022, and one thing on her list stands out. The fact that she only took 37 showers the entire year. What? What? Oh boy, let's do some math. Let's do some math. Oh, this is disgusting. Oh boy. 365 days a year divided by 37 means that she was taking a shower once every 9.86 days. This bitch is taking 3 showers a month. Dre Raven says, were any of those 37 showers golden? Buddha Brother says, Buddha Brother with another $2 super chat. He says, it's spelled Buddha. Jesus, you can't spell either. Maybe not, but I have more money than you do. Look, man, maybe I can't spell. Maybe I can't. Who knows? But I got more fucking money than you do. That's why you're mad. That's why you're mad, because I have found a way to monetize my knowledge, as a lot of other people have. And you can't stand it. You're steady giving me money, trying to hit on the fact that I make money. It's okay, so I can't spell Buddha. Big fucking deal. I'm here, and I'm me. This is why I'm me, and you're you. Another loser behind some computer who will remain nameless and anonymous, trying to get under the skin of somebody who has more than you do. I get it. I'd be pissed off, too. She goes by the name Ayala, and she hasn't posted anything on her OnlyFans since October 27th of 2021. The bio for the page reads in all caps, currently on hiatus. She claims on her website to have gone on hiatus because her, quote, attention span ran out. No, not her attention span. Her vagina was probably blown out. That's probably what that was. These days, aside from barely showering, she says she's, quote, working on my research institute for sexual fetishes. Oh, my God. Another sex expert. According to a few tweets Ayala shared on New Year's Eve, showering is not high on her list of activities in 2022. Showering didn't even crack her top 10. She says she tracked all the activities on an app called Dailyo, and that things like having sex, crying, and gaming were higher priorities for her than showering last year. Ayala's 37 showers ranked 13th on her list, wedged between having a good meal and traveling. That's hard to believe, but that's what her list says. That's, I guess, her list. So what's up with the not showering, and how does one still manage to have almost twice as much sex as they do showers? According to Ayala, it's all about her skin's microbiome. She replied, yep, I try not to disturb my natural skin biome too much. If I shower too often, I seem to stink more. To a question about her showering habits. Oh boy. As for sex, she's not a complete maniac. She used a bidet on a regular basis and stayed fresh by spot washing. I regularly use a bidet and spot wash my armpits and genitals, though. So she's basically taking horse baths. Is that it? She's basically taking horse baths. That's not good. This is a woman who also claims to have spent a year getting addicted to LSD, which, do your thing, but that had to have crossed a few wires. Probably true. There's no amount of spot washing known to man that would help me get through an entire year under 40 showers. It's not going to happen. Blame my skin's microbiome or whatever, but I feel like I'm a triple-digit guy when it comes to showering. I do too. Honestly, this is just the dirty bitch, y'all. This is just the dirty bitch. That's really what it comes down to. Like, it's funny, like, we look at her and she looks attractive, but, like, I can't help but think, that bitch stank. Like, that bitch stinks. Let's look at the comments. The future of humanity looks bleaker each and every day. Yep. I would agree with that. Here's another one. Millennials have pushed such epic BS on matters of hygiene. They're saying people should shower like 2-3 times a week, as if the hair on their face doesn't get greasy and feel disgusting. And for people who work outside, it's an absolute lie. Stupid generation. I'm willing to bet that there's absolutely zero evidence that is ever cited for this mindset. It was just something on Reddit once that all lazy, gross blank took and ran with it. She's a 7 at best. Okay face and body, but nothing to write home about. She claimed crying 59 times in a calendar year. Crying is healthy, but that's ODing. Red flag. She claimed sex only 63 times. That's like 5 times per month. Relatively pedestrian numbers for a whore. Okay, well, where's that asteroid when we need it? Let's go and look at her alleged, and it's funny, guys like this, she's a 7 at best, nothing to write home about. Tanner or whoever the fuck you are, you would fuck her. Anybody here, just looking at her right here, she's clearly attractive. She's clearly sexually attractive. Let's not do the because we don't like her, we can't tell the truth. That's really, really fucking dumb when dudes do that. Only black pill guys are like, I wouldn't hit it. I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. Of course you won't. You're jerking off 4 times daily. Okay, so here, let's see. She went outside 222 times. She pooped 194 times. Appetizing. She socialized 165. Worked 137. Took Adderall 106. Whoa. Oh, shit. Adderall, alcohol, and sex. Adderall, alcohol, sex, and crying. She gamed 44 times. Had a good meal 42 times. Showered 37 times. Enjoy the decline, gentlemen. Enjoy the decline. 647 people watching. Guys, be sure to hit the like button on your way in. If you like the video, please prove it and hit the like button. If you did not get a notification that I've gone live, download the SharpeStream mobile app. Simply enable the push notifications, and you'll be notified every time I go live. It is absolutely free. Go to sharpstream.com, and you will see the download links for Android and iOS. Mike Steele with the $20 super chat. Appreciate that. Says, Don is not a grifter. 2 years ago, I was getting my heart broken. Now, after learning from Don, both free and paid over 2 years, I live in Vegas, and I have a higher quality woman bringing me food and making my bed. Thank you. But I'm a swindler. These people just don't know. Shout out to Desmond Montgomery, member for 10 months. Desmond says, what if she's lying for clout? Lying about what? Lying about what? Lying about her beliefs? Listen, we all know that women can be chameleons. But guys, we're not the only ones who reserve the right to change our fundamentals when we get new information. Pearl says it herself. She used to be blue-pilled. She said that talking to Sneeko yesterday. She used to be blue-pilled. She found the Manosphere, and now she understands. Oh, never mind. Desmond Montgomery was talking about the showering. Oh, what if she's lying for clout? That's a good... Sorry about that, Desmond. You know, I'm a shoot first, ask questions later kind of guy. Yeah, I mean, that could be it. That could be it. Because 37 showers, if you're showering once every 10 days, that's just not something women do. If she does it, if she really does only shower once every 10 days, that's a nasty bitch. Like, that's a nasty ass bitch. But Lisa Guitar says, damn, Adderall. Yeah, you got that right. All right, and so to business. So yesterday, Pearl made another appearance on the Saucecast. I'm also told that she will be on the Saucecast today with Sneeko and Destiny. That should be fun. But she was on the Saucecast yesterday with a couple of hoes. One of them is an OnlyFans girl. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into it.
The show.
I appreciate it.
Pearly Things is here. Pearl Davis. You know her. You love her. You want her. You want her on your podcast. We got her on our podcast. She's here. She's one of 3 redheads here today.
Fuck yeah.
You're
She's
more
the
strawberry
natural
blonde.
one, yeah.
She runs a Pearl. She runs a show called
The pregame.
The Pregame.
Yeah.
I was gonna say your channel is Pearly Things.
Yeah.
Just Pearly Things.
We're trying to get to 100 followers, so go follow.
You're about to hit 1 million.
No, we're trying to get to 100.
Did you hit 1 million?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good
Clap
shit.
it up. I wish
There
I
you
had
go.
like a soundboard. I've been requesting that for about a year now, but hey, they don't speak English in Pearl.
Here, let me do that for you, Adam. Do that for you.
Auction here so they don't get no salmon. Oh, they're laughing over here.
Adam, you're
Oh,
done.
they think it's
Sorry,
funny.
I'm
They
on
think it's
one
funny.
today. I'm on one today.
It's all fun and
But
games.
anyway,
It's New
you
Year's
just
Eve brain.
got back from Chicago.
Hold up. Did Adam just drop I'm on one today? I swear to God, man. I'm gonna tell you what, man. Adam drops every once in a while. He will drop some nigga shit, won't he?
Chicago, welcome back. We're very happy to have you back, and we're actually super excited for you. You hit 1 million subscribers. It's a big freaking deal.
Yeah, thank you.
I remember when we hit 1 million on Valuetainment a few years ago, and it was a big deal. And now, you know, speaking of trying to get to 1 million, we got 2 girls, 1 blonde here, Jamie and Emily, comedians, proudly OnlyFans girls.
Okay, this girl is not attractive at all. Is that a knee tattoo?
Making that money,
I think I'm gonna have to take a look at their Instagrams here to get a little bit more context.
smoking blunts,
Fuck yeah. I wish I
supposedly
was high right now.
celibate these days.
Ah, you're
Stop the cap.
Stop it.
Supposedly.
trying to start a fight, Adam.
Oh, I'm trying to get riled up today. Nat, you're in the comment section. Let's see what
Yes.
these guys have to say. But you guys started a podcast less than a year ago?
Yeah, we.
Yeah, I actually asked Sosnick. I'm gonna have to lean on him a little bit more. He needs moderators, man, because that chat is the chat is ridiculous.
Started on 4/20, 2021.
How freaking
Iconic.
appropriate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
2021.
cute.
2021, so
Okay,
a little
so
over a year ago.
yeah.
And yeah, we're number 2 in stand-up comedy now. So that's very exciting.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just clap it up for all our contestants here today on the Find Your Wife Challenge here on Valuetainment. Heather Lee O'Keefe, attorney, not an attorney yet, will be an attorney, will represent you.
Oh,
Miss
so
USA,
she's
Pearly
oh,
Thinks,
Miss
killing
USA,
it, crushing
okay.
it, dominating. 2 girls, 1 blunt. Second funniest girls in
2 girls, 1 blunt. Oh my God. I swear to God.
the world
Yeah.
on a
Thank you.
podcast.
What an
All right.
announcement.
I know.
Guys, there's good intros and there's bad intros. Today, you're looking at what was probably known as a subpar intro, but I'm excited to have you guys here. And then speaking of excited to have you here, can we all just give a round of applause for the queen, the princess of Valuetainment, Miss Natalia Del Valle.
Hello, everyone. Hi,
She's out here, we out here.
Yes.
There is literally nothing impressive about Natalia. There really isn't. Like, she's terrible at her job, dude. She's so terrible at what she does.
Like a
Make sure you
president's
guys
wife right
like,
now.
comment, share, subscribe to the channel, and give us some good super chats. We're going to have a nice, really good podcast today. So I can read today. My reading has gotten better, so I'm ready to read all your super chats.
What's funny is I think by osmosis, my reading
Her reading has gotten better. I'll take your word for it, Natalia.
is struggling today.
Yes.
But
I
it's
got
not
you.
about me. It's not even about you. It's about the girls
Yes.
and the audience picking the ideal wife that they're looking for in their life. This is actually one of those episodes where I like literally want you to take notes. Okay, Pearl said this. Heather said this. Jamie said this. Well, Emily, I don't know. We'll see where we're going with this. Okay. Quick shout out to our sponsor today. New year, new you. New year, new you. I think that's fair to say. Shout out to Manscaped. They sponsor. Nat, show up what we got over here. We'll click to you in a second.
Okay.
Wink, wink package. Here we go.
Oh, gosh.
Lawnmower 4.0 studios that I'm talking about. Then you put that off at manscaped.com. Oh, rushed here.
What the hell happened
No
there?
bathroom break.
Oh.
Meanwhile, the girls.
And who you
I
marry and
believe
who
the
raises.
Because I'm struggling.
There's that
Sorry, guys.
hygiene,
There it
keeping
is.
it clean.
All right.
Platinum package, wink, wink package. Here we go.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lawnmower 4.0. Here we're going for cheap jokes here today.
I love it. Black Lemur 2009 says she reminds me of Christine Leahy. Oh my God. Christine Leahy, dude, yeah. Christine Leahy was ridiculous. Christine Leahy used to be Colin Cowherd's host. But she was replaced by Joy Taylor, who was good at first, but then Joy Taylor started to run off at the mouth, and now she's on another show.
Electric razor, no kit, no nicks, no cuts, shampoos, body washes,
Oh.
body sprays. There's that one dude who has like nose hair while Jamie's smoking. They also have ear trimmers. No guy that I'm talking about.
Because I'm struggling.
Wow. You know what I'm saying?
Can Manscaped get us something to shave our assholes? Because I'm struggling.
Wow.
I'm just.
Wildly
This is my request.
inappropriate. But that's
Oh my God. You talk about too much information. This bitch just admitted that she has stubble on her arsehole. Oh boy. Oh my God. Jesus.
You don't like
for
a
you guys.
shaved asshole?
Anyway, here's a call to action. If you want 20%
Again, dude, that's vulgar. They're already
off, 20% the name of the show. So 20% off Sozcast.
Ew.
Now let's start the show. Thank you for Manscaped for being.
It's funny. Girls think that shit is cute, man. That is not cute. That is not cute. That is gross. That might seem funny to your little audience, but that's gross. Ugh.
Adam, you're killing it today. I'm so proud of you.
I'm not even drunk.
Yeah.
But I
It's,
could
it's
be,
Miami
for the right
New Year's
price.
brain.
Yeah,
I
Miami
think
New
we're
Year's.
all struggling.
I feel like
from
I'm
it.
on point, but my body's not. So
Yeah.
I'm like struggling. I'm overcompensating. Anyway, here is the deal for today's show. By far and away, I talk about saving money, finding your career, being a good networker. But by far and away, the most important thing as a man that you can do in your life is finding the ideal wife and then finding that wife
Here we
who
go.
you're going to have kids with. Nothing is more important than that. Nothing is more important than that. So we have a wide range of women today that you can choose from for an ideal wife. Now, I've said this all the time.
Oh.
Some women
So this is a
can turn
competition?
millionaires into billionaires, and some women can turn millionaires into brokies. So be very
Unfortunately, most women turn millionaires into brokies. Basil Denson, with the $2 super chat, says she's got a body count of 1K. Oh my God. Oh, that's gross.
very careful who you select. With that being said, let's start the panel. Do you have something you want to add to that?
No.
Pearl, I want you all over this thing today.
Okay.
I want you up and down, left and right.
Uh-oh.
I want to have respectful debates. I
Oh,
want
boy.
you to be very vocal about your opinions.
Here we go.
She's lovely on the inside and out. I think she's going to bring it today. People are saying that you're going to be the most quiet one today. I just want you to know that's what people are saying.
Well, I think it's maybe because you didn't let me talk that much last time. So. Okay, I'm ready to talk today, Adam.
She is ready to talk today. Do you agree, by the way, round table, is the most important decision a man can make who they choose to marry and have kids with?
Absolutely.
Okay. Why is that, from a woman's perspective?
Because I think you should care about your children's future. And
Of
who
course.
you
I
marry and
believe
who
the
raises your
children
kids
are
is a
future.
huge
Okay.
indicator of how your children are going to be raised.
And by the way, guys, do you see the color of her hair? Do you see the color of her hair? The color of her hair lets us know.
She belongs to the streets.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Somebody had a super chat yesterday asking me about, hey, my girlfriend. Hang on, guys. Said, hey, my girlfriend dyed her hair. Should I cut her loose? And I said, well, it depends. That she dyed a natural color. This is the kind of color that absolutely means
She belongs to the streets.
let's continue.
So you're an advocate that a man. So what's your advice to men when it comes to picking a mate?
Oh, my God.
Don't get blinded by love, and I think ask the important, serious questions up front. Like, a lot of people don't have those serious conversations until they're married already, and then shit hits the fan, and they've never talked about what they're going to do in a certain situation, who's going to take over finances, or who's going to be, like, you know what I mean? And so having those conversations up front, I don't think a lot of people in modern dating do that at all.
I fully endorse what you're saying. Part of the problem.
Number one, this is why what she said is absolutely. This is why you don't take relationship advice from women. You can have whatever conversations you want with your woman, with a woman that you're dating. But just because you have a conversation with her doesn't guarantee or assure anything. It doesn't. It does not guarantee anything. It does not assure anything. This is like Hafiz saying, well, you have to sit down and do the premarital counseling. That doesn't mean shit. Just because she tells you I'm going to have sex with you twice a week doesn't mean she will. Fuck out of here. Convicts, welcome to Chat Privileges. At Convicts, to welcome him to the TSR family. If you would, Convicts, put your age and location in the chat.
Problem that I would have is, even when my younger days, and I'm an old man now, right? I got salt and pepper going on here. We're getting old. I would delay important conversations. I would delay. Now, if I'm on dates with girls, I'm like, boom, what are you looking for? How many kids you want? What, like, would you sign a prenup? Would you not? They're like, and like, they're like, whoa, you're a little aggressive with these guys. I'm like, I don't got no time. I'm not wasting my time, your time, none of that time. Something else that you said, and then
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. If I were to ever be back on the dating market, I'm not asking those kinds of questions on the first date. And the reason I don't ask those kinds of questions on the first date is because we all know that what women say and what women mean are two different things, right? Like, this is why I created the course Womanese, so that you can decipher what women are really telling you. So yeah, you can have all the conversations you want with women, but unless you are fluent in Womanese, it's not really going to mean anything.
we're gonna get a round table here is don't be fooled by love. One of the things I always say is don't fall in love with your eyes. It is so easy as a dude to just fall in love with your eyes. I have a buddy of mine.
Of course.
Every time we go out, it's like a running joke. He's like, oh, look at that girl. I love her. Oh, look, she's so hot. I love her. Oh, so I'm like, so you just love any hot girl you see? He's like, bro, I love all these girls. I'm like, you're a sucker. You're about to get your shit taken in half real quick. Be very careful.
Look at, we're women. We fall in love with our ears anyway.
Yes.
Sell me a dream, baby.
There it is.
Yes.
That's it.
That's true.
Yeah, I forgot who said it. But he said men fall in love with what they see, women fall in love with what they hear. If somebody knows who said that, let me know. But that's the first time I've ever heard that.
True.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get an age and location check in the chat. Put your age and location in the chat.
Pearl, no nonsense. That's such an important thing that you just said. Women fall in love with their ears. Men fall in love with their eyes. Men are visual creatures. I mean, hello, Miss USA. There's like, it's a whole like visual creature contest, respectfully. Men have to sell a woman a dream. I do this. I'm thinking about doing this. I'm starting this. I'm creating this. What if I took you here? What does that sound to you? Women's like, oh, okay. Like, oh my God, I'm dreaming now. Is that how like you interpret like dealing with a guy? Like, sell me the dream.
Yes.
Almost like sell me this pen.
Sell
me a pen.
I think that's every woman. Like, most women want to be sold a dream.
Yes,
I would
Gotcha.
say.
A real dream.
That's a nugget right there, gentlemen.
Speak louder than words, not
Okay.
a fake dream.
Actually, okay, so let's
Spoken like someone with maybe some experience with being sold a fake dream.
go around the table. If a dude wanted to sell you a dream, sell me the dream. Like, what would you want to hear from a guy? And all of a sudden, like, you got to go throw out your panties because they're like soaking wet. You know, was that a little inappropriate? It's fine.
No.
Sell me the dream that the guy would have to tell you for you to be like, all right, I'm all in. Heather Lee.
I agree that we want to be sold the dream, but I think actions speak louder than words. So my whole thing is, if he wanted to, he would. You can say that you want to all you want, but you gotta prove it to me too. You gotta back up your.
Yeah, that's real cute and all. But here's what Miss Lawyer is forgetting, and this is something that most people are not even close to being aware of. It's not on men to qualify to women. It's not. If you're a select man, if you're a high-value guy, if you're a man with options, women don't need to qualify to you. Yeah, actions speak louder than words. True enough. But I've done enough in my life to not have to try to qualify to anybody. The reason why women have to qualify to guys like us is because there are a lot more of them than there are of us. There is so much less of the men that they want than the actual women. There are so many more women than the men they actually want. There's not enough to go around. But they still think, well, actions speak louder than the words. You got to prove this and that. I don't have to prove shit. If you're not on a date with me, then you're the one. You're the one who needs to qualify to me. You're lucky to be in my presence. That's the way it has to be.
Your words
So
with the actions.
nothing he could say could, turn you
I mean,
on in
of
that
course
regard.
you can say it, but I like a man who's a doer. Like, don't say it, just do it.
Talk is cheap. That's great. You just sold me this.
I have
Now
to
tell
prove it.
you.
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
That's fair.
All right. Well, Pearlie's looking to get sold a dream verbally over here. She's having
No,
eargasms.
I think she's right. You can only sell a girl a dream for so long before you know she's like,
Of course.
this guy might not have a job.
For you, okay.
If that guy didn't have a
you want
job.
to be told from a guy, like,
So
okay,
for-
like, before we go down the whole like
yeah.
actions are
You're not
louder
gonna
than
let her
words.
speak?
I'm going. She's gonna speak a lot. Before we go down the like, yes, I need it. Let's start with the verbals. What words? I'll even come back to you. What words do you want to hear from a guy to sell you this dream? Not actions.
Oh.
I mean, I always look to see if he's family oriented, like wants a lot of kids. If he's looking to do that soon, that's like what I would say. The dream.
So all a guy has to do is say, "Hey, I'm trying to knock you up." A
Oh,
bunch.
okay. No.
That's
Sorry. You're right. That's not it. Hard worker is something I look for. Athletic. You know, I play basketball. I like going to the gym.
There she goes. There she goes. Listen to Pearl. Listen to Pearl. She says, "Yeah, I like athletic men because you know I played basketball." Of course.
Well, that's more of a physical thing, right? He can look good. So
Yeah.
you notice that. And the hard work, like verbally, how can he communicate that he's a hard worker?
You can just hear like the passion in a guy's voice. I mean, I think like as women, we're kind of it's like natural to us to kind of gauge how hard a guy works.
Yep.
Because you can just
Yeah, Mark LeBrant says the lawyer has pudgy arms. Yeah, she is you can tell she's got good genetics and was Miss America, but you can tell she's let herself go a little bit.
just hear it if he's like passionate about what he does. There's nothing more attractive than a guy that's just really passionate about what he's doing.
I think that's very important that what Pearl just said is, you know, there's like the famous phrase, pursue excellence, not women, or chase excellence, not women.
Yeah, that's Rich Cooper.
What is it about a man pursuing excellence or working hard that is a turn on? And while he has his kind of blinders on,
because he's not worshiping you.
not focusing on chicks.
Well, because you don't want a guy where that he puts you on a pedestal.
There it is.
Like women don't
Thank
like
you.
to be put on a
There you go.
pedestal, and like that the guy, you're his entire world. So I just feel like as women, like we want a guy that's working on something bigger than us.
Gotcha. Pursuing passion. All right, so I'm going to come back to you before I go to the two girls. Other than actions, what words are going to sell that dream to you?
Well, I do like being put on a pedestal. I was thinking of that.
There it is.
Like, I want
This
a guy
is so
who's-
funny.
You like
No,
Sims?
I mean,
She says she likes being put on a pedestal. No, you don't. You like the idea. You like the idea of being put on a pedestal. Come in. Oh, yeah. Let me see your hair. Oh, look. It looks good. Looks very good. Good. Yeah, it looks great. Looks great. Okay. Excellent. All righty.
I mean, I want a guy who's going to put me first and put the marriage and like the relationship before everything else. Like,
Do you want him to put you first before his career?
I mean, it depends. I think there just needs to be a good balance between everything. I don't know what exactly that balance
Oh,
is, but I
boy. Here we
think
go.
it's important to
Here
have
we
a
go.
balance with the relationship, career, family, but it's always important to put your partner, spouse
Would
first
you
as
be
well.
This is interesting. Women always say, I want a man who puts me first. I want a man who puts me on a pedestal. They say that, but then they cheat on these guys. They cheat on them with men who don't put them on a pedestal. Again, she just said, let's have a conversation. Find out what women say and what they mean are often two very, very different things. It sounds nice to say, oh yeah, I want a guy who worships me and puts me on a pedestal, but no woman wants that. No matter how much they say it, no matter how much they try to convince you, they don't want to say it. Or they don't want that.
Would you be okay with a stay-at-home husband?
No.
Okay, so it's kind of like
Well, okay then.
everything.
No.
Well, okay then. There it is. Would you be okay with a stay-at-home husband? No. Well, that's it. That's it.
Pearl asks great questions, by the way.
Shout out to Convicts with the $10 super chat. Says, I found you through Fresh and Fit 2 months ago. I'm down from 280 to 230 pounds and 37 pounds and counting. Looking forward to applying your knowledge with the ladies once I get right. Love the show. Dude, shout out to you. Shout out to you for losing, what is that, 43 pounds? 43 pounds, 33 pounds, whatever the case may be. That is impressive. Good for you. Keep it going.
That's one of her superpowers, is being very inquisitive and asking very good questions.
Yes.
She asked you a very good question. Do you like simps? Because simps will put you on a pedestal.
That's right.
You're so beautiful. I would do anything for you. You're the hottest girl I've ever seen.
Okay.
All of a sudden.
There we go. There we go. Here we
We don't
go.
even know what we want. We don't even know what we
See,
want.
there it
There's
is.
a difference between
What?
simps and a man who is like choosing you and makes that. known.
Yes.
There's a difference between.
No. No, she's right. There is a difference between a simp and a man choosing you. There is. But if a man who chooses you puts you on a pedestal, you are absolutely not attracted to that. Stop it.
A simp and a pimp. But answer her question. So you don't want a simp, but you also want a man who puts you on a pedestal?
I mean,
Is
okay,
that a little
not
bit
on
of
a pedestal.
cognitive
Maybe
dissonance?
Appreciate that, Black Wolf Inc.
was being a little bit dramatic. I just want a man, someone who thinks very highly of me and, does the whole, you're beautiful, you're great.
Yes, if you want a man to think highly of you, I understand that. I get it. And that's not unreasonable. But you got to earn that respect. See, this is something we're not teaching women to do. They think that they are due respect simply because a man is committed to them, and nothing could be further from the truth. If you want respect, you have to earn it. Women always say you got to give respect to get respect. False. If you want respect, you have to earn it. Period.
All that. Every girl
Words
likes
of
it. Well, no, those are
affirmation.
like to
I need
hear
a
that.
words of affirmation.
I am the words of affirmation
Gotcha.
girl.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha, bitch.
Look, check this out. Don't give her words of affirmation. Give her actions of affirmation. Wasn't this the same woman that just said actions speak louder than words? She just said actions speak louder than words, right? But then she says, I need those words of validation. No. How about actions of validation? I give Devin actions of validation all the time. You don't want to know how I tell her she looks good? With my left hand when I smack her ass at random, whatever.
Words of affirmation, by the way. Jamie, you look very lovely today.
Oh, God.
Okay, I'm trying to sell you a dream right now, girl.
That honestly works.
What words do you want to hear from a man that will be a major turn on to you? Words.
Words. I think when a man is describing like what he's passionate about and like he has goals and a vision, like the vision is really important. And through those words, he's communicating how he's executing that vision and how he's executed it in the past. So I'm looking for like key milestones that show growth over like a course of.
Yeah, success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. This is why Devin was all in from the start. I hadn't become Donovan Sharpe yet, but I had a track record of proven financial success, having owned and operated 2 successful businesses.
Years. And in his words, if he's talking about what he's done and how he's grown and how he's like changed as a man to become more of a man, he's not a boy anymore, like that's what I want to hear.
So that's a turn on. Is growth, vision, mission, purpose.
Such a
because
turn
if a girl was telling me I have this vision and my purpose is I'm going to create this company and I'm checking off, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's doing nothing for me. And I think that's the way a lot of guys feel.
That's exactly right.
It's like, that's great, but I feel like the best relationships, that's right, are when like the man has his purpose and his vision and the woman locks into that.
Oh, there we are. Atta baby. Now we're talking.
Like, I'm going to help you grow your business, your empire. Like, we had this conversation the other day where it was like happy wife, happy life. And like eyes are rolling. TLA is like, okay. And I was like, give me something better than that. And the guy in the super chat said, happy king, happy kingdom.
Ah,
okay,
yes, I
like
remember that. Yeah,
because
yeah.
the king is the kingdom, but he also has the queen. The queen's kind of doing her thing. So
I was reading some studies last night, actually, that indicated that marriages were more successful when the wife is happy. Not that it's only the wife happy, the man and the woman are happy. But when you focus on a happy woman, her mental health is good enough for her to be able to take care of the home. And
blah, 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 blah. Guys, this is why we don't take advice from women. Women are so solipsistically narcissistic. It's ridiculous. I don't know that made sense, but I think I know what you guys mean. Do not focus on a woman's happiness, guys. Do not focus on a woman's happiness. If you focus on your purpose, that's enough to make your woman happy. That is enough to make your woman happy. I'm not saying don't pay attention to her. I'm not saying don't treat her. That's not what I'm saying at all. But focusing on your woman's happiness will cause her to focus on someone else. Black Wolf Inc. says he's learning from the previous shows.
Therefore, teach the children like the things that they need to teach and
Oh
learn
my
and
God,
grow.
But women, we don't even know what makes us happy. It's like we feel different every single day. So if a
Thank
guy's
you.
focusing on that, it's like a waste of his time because it depends where we are in our cycle.
Woo!
I mean, you already know,
Oh!
you already know a couple days before your period, there ain't shit that anyone
I
can
would
do to make you
say-
happy.
That's right.
No, I would say
Put this closer.
a lot of
Sorry.
maybe women don't know what makes them happy, but I for certain know what makes me happy and what like I look for, and I've created a very peaceful life for myself, and being able to take that into a relationship because I know what I want and what makes me happy, then
But I think like we're not talking about you specifically. I was talking about
Yeah, what we're talking about is fundamentally.
women in general.
Driver FC3S, welcome to Trap Privileges. At Driver FC3S to welcome him to the TSR family. If you would, Driver FC3S, put your age and location in the chat.
I mean, just because women like change their minds on things or have different conversations based on different situations doesn't mean that they don't know what makes them happy.
I also think the ability to change your mind and show that you're willing to learn and grow with that person is a good sign in a woman. If she is willing to actually listen to him and listen to her man and then make decisions based off of that and maybe change her mind and maybe be like, oh, I was wrong, and take.
She had me until she said make decisions. And maybe she meant this in a different context. But I'm always the final decision maker. I'm always the final decision maker. Yes, I will ask for Devin's counsel if I need it. I'll ask for counsel if I need it, of course. But I make the final decision. I have the final say so.
Take accountability.
Sell me the dream. If a guy needed to sell
Beliza Guitars with the comment of the day. Says one of the most fundamental things I had to learn is that you don't bring a woman into your life to make you happy. You bring her into your life so you can share in the happiness you create. There you go. Devin says that's a lot of maybes. That's exactly right.
sell you the dream
Oh man,
to
Adam.
become Mr. Two Girls, One Blunt, be your man, what would he need to
we're
say
the
to you?
sister wives over here.
Sister wives. By the way, we're doing a buy one get one free, gentlemen. If you choose Two Girls, One Blunt,
You get two
you get
redheads.
Jamie and Emily
And a
all
blunt.
in one.
Yeah, I
Or
just like pop up on the dates and I'm like, hey guys, how's it going?
What about the
I was
blunt?
bored today.
come right in, double the cost.
So Jamie said that she has created a calm life for herself. So let's check out, just real quick, let's check out Jamie's Instagram. Let's check out Jamie's Instagram. And I think I've done a pretty good job at maybe hiding some of the more explicit stuff. This doesn't look like a calm life, a quiet life. Neither does this. Looks like she's at a party, doesn't look calm. Oh boy. Oh boy. Do you see what I see? I don't know if you guys, you know what? I'm going to reserve judgment. Once is a coincidence, twice is a trend, 3 times is a habit. You guys know I need at least 2 pieces of evidence before I make the judgment. Let's continue.
But double the fun, also double the titties. That's just how math works.
I said double the titties.
Wow, look at us. You can't read today, but at least you can do math.
We're trying.
Right?
Barely. Love that. Sell me the dream.
I love that.
Honestly, if a guy walked up to me holding a baby, it would be game over. He wouldn't even have to.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, Exhibit B. Exhibit B. She fucks niggas, y'all. Like, straight up. Like, this bitch has at least 2 Instagram posts where a black dude is picking her up and she's got her legs around them, acting like, ooh! Ay. Oh, dude, these bitches are all the same.
Say anything, I'd be like, okay, you can just breed me now.
Hold on.
There it is. She's not lying. I keep trying to tell you guys. Oh, here's Exhibit C. Yep, she likes niggas. Yes, she does.
A dude just needs to roll up with a kid, and you're like, all right, I will take you away from your wife, and I'm now raising that kid.
Okay,
Is that what you're saying?
In this hypothetical
Check this out. I think what she is about to, I'll let her continue.
situation,
Yes.
hopefully the child is both not abducted and
motherless.
also not, he's not married. That's the goal.
You'd prefer a single dad over a single guy?
I don't know if I would necessarily prefer it, but I would absolutely be a stepmother. I have a lot of love to give, and I love kids, and I don't think I would have any issue in both respecting the mother and their co-parenting relationship, but also taking a child who's not mine biologically and making it feel as though it is mine.
You tell me what you guys think.
Here's the deal. And this is something I don't think Pearl gets yet. This is something I don't think Pearl understands yet. Maybe she'll learn it at some point. But single mothers are not attractive to men for a long-term relationship. However, single fathers, that's chick crack. That is absolutely chick crack. It's so funny when I hear women say, well, you don't date single moms. Well, I don't date single dads. Yes, you do. As a matter of fact, it's interesting. Girls without children think single dads are hot. They really do. It shows that they can take care of the kid. Number one, it shows that they were pre-selected enough to have sex with someone enough to get them pregnant. It just doesn't work the same on the other side.
Okay. Question to the audience. Question for the panel. I feel like women are way more likely to be with a dude that already has kids than a man is willing
Bingo.
to be with a girl with kids. Example. I
There
know
it is.
plenty of girls here in Miami
Bingo.
that are like stepmom to the dude with the
Yep.
kids. I was talking to a girl for a while. She had kids. And I was like, we'll see. One time, like, she like canceled on a date because the kid got sick. I'm like, I'm out. Like, this is so absurd. I'm now like, my life is now being run by Timmy over here, who fucking has a cold.
Yeah,
Like,
right, exactly.
This is so something I'm not doing. And I'm like, I just jumped ship. Amazing girl, gorgeous girl, and like,
But she had a fucking
despite
kid.
all the accolades as a woman, I was like, yeah, I can't raise someone else's kids,
There
or
you
I
go.
can't have my schedule revolve around some other dude's kids.
Yeah, right.
Just not for me. But
Yeah.
how willing are you guys as women to raise another dude's kids? Is that something you'd be open
This will be
to?
interesting.
For the right guy.
I have dated a guy pretty seriously.
Here we
He
go.
had 2 kids from a previous marriage.
There you go.
And I
Guys, I'm trying to tell you, dude. Girls love single dads no matter how much they say they don't. They really do. And here we go. Former Miss America. I dated a guy who had two kids from a previous marriage.
liked the fact that I got to see how he was as a father before, having kids with him. But it just kind of came down to the fact of I want my own kids one day as well, and having a blended family for, us as a couple, it was just something that wasn't in the cards, so it just ended up not working out. But I'm totally open to dating a man with kids, as long as he's open to having more kids in the future, because that's something that I want.
So
There you
there's
go.
a prerequisite. Like, I'm down to raise your kids, but I want my own.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the show we were on last week. It was the couple. They each had 2 kids. They kind of had a Brady Bunch thing going on. Totally okay with that. If you have your own kids as a dude and the girl has her own kids, that's a little bit easier. Rather than, like, we did an episode on the PBD podcast.
Yeah.
This dude out here, Kyle Kalinske, shout out to you. I think you're very smart. No doubt, you know your stuff in politics. This guy is marrying a woman who is 5 to 10 years older and has 3 kids.
Oh!
I'm sorry, I'm putting his business out.
Oh, boy. Oh, wow. That is game over. So you're marrying a bitch who is, let's just split the difference, 7.5 years older than you that has 3 kids? What the fuck are we doing? Oh, my God. See, again, man. Again. Eben Zuer says every red flag of a woman is a green flag for a man. Yep. Mike Steele said it a little bit earlier. Red flags for women are green flags for men. Or a red flag in a woman is a green flag for a man. Man has tattoos, green flag. Woman tattoos, red flag. Man has a criminal record, green flag. Woman with a criminal record, red flag. Man with kids, green flag. Woman with kids, red flag. That's how it is.
Out there, but it's already out there. This is not a secret. Homie is going to go from 0 kids to 3 kids the second he says, I do.
Oh, my God.
That is very
Oh, my
tough
God.
to do as a dude.
It's a lot of kids.
Very tough.
SDSM Gaming says facts. With a $5 super chat says facts. My brother has 3 baby mamas and women still find him attractive. Of course they do. Of course they do. Of course, I mean, of course. This is common knowledge. The Fit Comedian, sorry about this, missed that $10 super chat, says, I keep hearing women say, I know what makes them happy. Do you know what makes the man happy? Nope. Of course not. They say they do, but they don't.
Like
How old is
marriages
he?
and child support.
She's in her
after.
early 40s. He's in his early 30s.
Oh.
And he's going to be raising someone else's kids. Now, I will say,
Oh, my God.
in case this thing
Dude.
gets chopped up and sent in, they have a lot in common. They both work in politics. They're both liberals. They do, like, shows together. So, like, there is that component. Respect to you guys. Find love wherever you find it. And they're, like, 10, 12, and 15.
She should write a dating advice book on how the hell she pulled that off.
Dude, I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Anyway,
Sorry about that, guys. I had to get my train dialed in. There we go.
I'm going off the deep end here. Would you ever date?
That's actually, that would be a very good book for her to write. How the fuck did she pull that off? How did a 40-something single mom of 3 pull a single guy in his early 30s? Woo!
Date a dude that already has kids?
I don't want to say never because I think for the right guy, most girls would probably, right?
Yep.
It's really not my preference. I just think, I grew up with 2 parents in the home, all the same parents. I mean, obviously minus the ones that were adopted, but I just thought that was easier that way, so that would definitely be my preference.
So you're open to it?
I would say I'm not open to it. However, I'm not going to cap and say that if the right guy came along,
There
I
you
wouldn't.
go. There you go. That's it. That's it. That's not something that Pearl prefers. No woman prefers to date a man with kids. There are complications. You got the kids, the baby mama, and all that good stuff. But for the right guy, yeah, they would make an exception. Men's Path, welcome to Chat Privileges. At Men's Path to welcome him to the TSR family. If you would, Men's Path, put your age and location in the chat.
Make an
You're
exception.
not open to it. It's not ideal, but you're not closed off to it.
Yeah, like I'd probably make an exception for the right guy.
There you go.
That's what girls do, by the way.
There you go.
They make
Yeah.
exceptions for exceptional men.
Ding.
Nugget.
That was a good one.
My reading ain't doing good today, but my talking's doing all right. Jamie.
Yes.
Okay, have you ever dated a dude with kids, and would you be willing to do it again?
Of course she's dated a dude with kids. Of course she has. How do we know? Exactly.
Yes. I dated a
Told you.
man. He had a 2-year-old son. And that was awesome. My dad adopted me. And so my mom was a single mom and she came out of an abusive relationship.
Oh, boy. Raised by a single mom who was in an abusive relationship. Raised by a single mom who was in an abusive relationship. That's why we're single and we engage in activities like this. This is what being raised by a single mom, this is how it turns out.
And he took me in as his own, and they even got my birth certificate changed so I wouldn't know. He's like, this will be my kid. And I think growing up, that always meant a lot to me, like to adopt because someone like took me in. But when I dated him, like I was there doing all the family stuff, talking with the baby mama, like having conversation.
Talking with the baby mama. Talking with the baby mama. You know, only niggas refer to their mother of their children as a baby mama. Not something white dudes typically do. Further cementing. Yeah. And it's funny. Like, there is just a certain look. Some girls who fuck with niggas, you would never know. You would never know it by looking at them by the way they move. There are a lot of girls out there who fuck with niggas on the low, you would never know. But the way this girl moves, it's weird, like the way her makeup is done, the way she kind of talks. She's got a little bit of street. like she's a white girl who has just a little bit of street in her voice. That comes from fucking with the niggas.
Talking with the baby mama.
Yeah, there was times
Let's not
where like
underscore how difficult that is. Did you ever have to deal with the baby mama?
Yeah, there was definitely overlap, and holidays, Christmas, and things. That's something to keep in mind too. I
was gonna say I would do the kid. I take another person's kid, like, and be a stepmom any day. Be a co-parent with a baby mama. That's a different story. Because that man ended up trying to like cheat on me with said baby mama.
No, he tried to get back with the baby mama.
I was like babysitting his child, putting him into bed, reading him stories. Like,
do you hear what this woman is saying? She's babysitting the child, reading him stories, and putting him to bed. Guys, and this woman is objectively attractive. Gentlemen, do not let these ain't shit bitch ass baby mamas out here convince you that being a baby daddy who has custody of your kid is unattractive. This woman was literally a surrogate mother, a stepmother to this child, putting him to bed, reading him stories, and all that stuff.
While he was on a trip with his brother, and
that is the shadiest thing I've ever heard. Here you are dating a dude. Okay.
Oh, the level up man says, nah, Don, I refer to mine as baby mama. Oh, it's become more commonplace among white folk. How about that? Okay. And Mr. C73 says, no, Donovan, baby mama is pulp culture now. Okay. All right. I stand corrected. But that doesn't mean that this ain't true. Right? Appreciate it. Let's continue.
He has a kid, a 2-year-old. You're in the house rearing the child.
Yep.
Taking care of the child. Lo and behold, low key, the dad is on some business trip vacation with his boys. Meanwhile, banging his ex-wife, baby mama, behind your back.
Tisk.
Yeah. That's fucked up.
That's low.
Yeah,
Hey, you know what? Look, man, it sucks that happened to her. But you guys know what I always say. Law number 37 of the 49 laws of Sharpe. Do not feel sorry for a woman. Never feel sorry for a woman who was screwed over by a man. Because she has done the same thing to at least a dozen dudes. Every wrong that gets done to women in relationships, every wrong, it always multiplies tenfold on her side. Count the number of times a woman gets done wrong, and then count the number of times she does a man wrong. Women very, very rarely, when they're attractive women very rarely take L's. They very rarely take L's. Right? Very, very rarely do they take L's. But they do, nonetheless. This attractive woman took an L to a baby daddy.
Basically, like, sold me a dream. Like, we're gonna get married, have kids. He wanted somebody who was like nurturing and good with kids. So when he introduced me to his son, that was kind of like what made us a little bit more serious. His mother would buy me gifts because she was like, "You're so good with his children. Thank you." We were worried based on who like the mom is, and they all painted this dream that this girl was kind of crazy and they needed that like stability. And I was like, "I'll do that." And so while he was telling me one thing about her, he was like DMing her and trying to fuck. And
it is what it is.
Yeah. But
words,
I would say that
words versus actions, like we were talking about,
exactly.
Heather.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Words versus actions. Like, men are the only ones who say one thing and do another. Yeah, totally.
Still wouldn't make me not do it again.
You would do it again.
Bingo! Told you. Look at that. Look at that. After all that, she would still do it again.
That?
Because for me, it's like the kids thing. If he's a good man and he's doing that, like, I'm not going to make it, like, I'm not going to get salty based on a past experience of a shitty dude.
So a dude, here's what I'm learning here, gentlemen. Go rent a kid.
There it is.
Go rent a kid.
There it is.
I'll tell you a story. Last week at the Soho House in Miami, my brother-in-law and my sister were saying, "Hey, can you watch Rory, my nephew?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm at the Soho House. I'm at the beach." They're like, "Just take him with you." When I tell you, here I am at the beach, okay? And there's people around, and I start throwing the football with little Rory.
Game
over.
There it is.
There it is.
Can I play? I'm like, Rory, just throw it over there by accident with those girls.
There it
Girls
is.
are like, "Oh, is that your son? He's so cute." I'm like, "Nephew, how you doing?" Right? She's like, "Oh." chick magnet.
Yeah.
What's a better chick magnet? A puppy
No.
or a kid?
A kid.
A kid.
Kid. Go rent a kid.
There you go.
A
I'm
nephew.
starting a business.
Look, I'll tell you guys just a quick story. Many years ago, my sister and her now ex-husband, my ex-brother-in-law, they came to Vegas to spend the holidays with me, right? Really, aside from their, shopping and holiday preparations, they wanted to do some gambling, maybe, get into a little bit of foolishness. Now, at the time, my nephew and nieces were, I think they were 10, 6, and 4, right? And so, nights out on the town, that was something they weren't able to do very often. Now, I've never really been too much for holiday shenanigans, so I was more than happy to watch, my nephew and nieces while, my sister and her then husband, went downtown, enjoy the bright lights, casinos, and maybe enjoy a few kid-free nights. Well, one of these evenings, a girl that I had started dating stopped by after she got after work, right? So my nephew and I were playing Halo, right? And my two nieces, they sort of, we're playing Halo, we're blowing shit up and all this other kind of stuff. My nieces were sitting on either side of us, eating candy and just kind of enjoying and laughing, laughing and all that. Ate a bunch of Christmas sweets. We all laughed. We had a great time. All the while, the girl I was with had a dreamy look on her face. This girl was 20. I think this girl was like 20, 21 years old. So after I put him to bed, this girl, she ranted and raved about how great I was with kids and how I'm going to make a wonderful father and how my kids are going to love me and so forth. Guys, we had crazy sex that night, and that continued for quite a while, right? That little event with my nephew and nieces, that changed our relationship for the better. She became more unselfish in bed. She made more of an effort to look good for me. She made herself available much more, and she even started cleaning my apartment when she came over. All of this was in an effort to push for, of course, a long-term relationship, which she did eventually verbalize. The funny thing is, like I said, is this girl had just turned 21. And when we met, she made it very clear in our first interactions that she had no interest in having children or settling down or anything, which is fine by me. But when she saw me interacting with my sister's children, my niece and my nephews, that changed her mindset. Again, never, ever, ever believe a woman who tells you that being a single father is unattractive or somehow disqualifies you. It does not.
There's like what she said about
Shout out to my nephew Rory if you're watching this. I love you, buddy.
Should
Every
he
weekend.
be watching this?
Yes.
He's like 4.
He's 10.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
He'll
keep
be
doing
aight.
you, kid. Okay, so I'm learning this. It is way more attractive for a man to have a kid.
Thank you.
And way more compelling for a woman to be like, yeah, I'd co-sign on that. For a man to try to date like a woman with kids. Like I've seen like women, like I'll give you one quick story. Airport. I'm flying back wherever I was. I think from Madrid. And hot ass chick in the airport. I mean, just by herself, like buying a bagel. I'm like, oh, I think I'm a little hungry. Time
I
to
got
buy a
some
bagel.
cream
Boom.
cheese for you.
Next thing you know, I'm like in line. There I am.
That's a bad joke. Cream cheese? Come on, dude. Really? She gonna buy some cream cheese for you?
I'm not being creepy at all. I'm just generally looking to buy a bagel. But
There
I'm
you
like
are.
scoping this chick, like who's she with, who's she traveling with, right? Next thing you know, the kid comes up, mommy. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm out. Who's this kid? Like,
sorry. See ya.
not a turn on.
Yeah.
It's a no for me, dog.
Yep.
It is
Plot twist. It was
Plot
her. It was
twist.
her nephew.
She's like, please have the nephew. But it is not a turn on for a dude to see a chick with kids.
But why?
But it is a turn off.
Why is it not a turn on? What
Because
is the
you're
problem?
not trying to raise
it's-
some
yeah,
other
well, it's-
dude's kid.
Dude, exactly. Exactly. I'm not trying to raise no another dude's kids, man. I don't give a shit. I don't care how good you look. Fuck that noise.
It's because historically, like men had to ensure paternity, so they're biologically predisposed.
Yo, wait a minute. Rolo said that first. She's parroting off of Rolo. Yes. Yes, she is. You know who else parrots off of Rolo? Tori. And look where she's at. Miss me with this nonsense.
Position to be repulsed by other people.
Yeah, Roderick Thomas says her one-liners are inappropriate and disgusting. Yeah, dude, the unattractive chick, this is funny, man. Like, chicks think that, again, Chicks think that because they like guys who are funny, that guys must also like women who are funny. It does not work the same way.
People's children because they didn't want the resources to be passed to a kid that wasn't theirs. Where us, if a guy has a kid, that shows us that he could take care of us.
Bingo.
Because other women selected him.
This
Bingo.
is why we bring Pearl here.
Yeah.
She's giving you facts, not feelings.
Facts.
Jamie.
Oh,
I know she just hurt your feelings.
No, she didn't.
Oh, I just made that up.
You got a kid?
Could've.
Yeah, no, I think I can
Wait,
see
you have
that
a- you have a kid?
overall. Do I have a kid? No.
Oh, you're,
I
You
mean,
just have
I
three
have
cats
3
at
cats.
Respect.
No, she has 3 cats. That's a good thing, actually.
But I think that while that may be true for majority of men, there are definitely men out there who have like an aspect of just wanting to be a dad, and I know a lot of men who they're like they have this
Here we
feeling
go.
like they
Here we go. Here we go. The I know someone argument. The I know someone argument. They try to make the exception of the rule. Well, I know someone, or some people be like, I don't know anybody like that, and it's all fucking cap. It's all cap. It's either all cap or the men who want to wife up a single mom are not men with options. In other words, they're not high status, high caliber men. That's all there is to it. So you can tell me I know somebody. Listen, baby girl, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. Would you fuck any of those guys? I don't think so.
They like the girl a lot, and they're like, you know what, let's do this and have a family together.
Fucking
So
ridiculous.
I think if you have a kid, you should be looking for men who also display those.
yeah, but
behaviors.
those are men that don't have options.
Oh, got her. Woo! Letters. Yes, sir. TKO. Got her. TK motherfucking O. That's it. They don't have options. Period.
Women without kids. The same way, like if we can
I'm gonna
choose,
tell you,
the same
my-
way, the same
my
way that you
dad
guys,
was-
the same way that you guys can choose, you pick men that are rich.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
dad was a millionaire, owned one of the biggest construction companies in Boston, did the Big
Stop the
Dig, the
cap.
Newberry Street apartments.
Okay.
Met my mom, crazy woman, and he must have loved her because she was crazy.
No. Your dad is an exception to the rule. Your dad was the exception to the rule. Like, here we go. I know people, Pearl says they don't have options. Well, my dad had options and he still chose my mother. How do we know that your dad was a millionaire? Right? My dad was a millionaire and he had this company. There's no way to prove that. There's no way to prove that. And if your dad was such a see, this is why we know girls cap. If her dad was a millionaire and a strong patriarchal father, then what the fuck are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? This is not the Instagram page of a woman who was raised by a strong father. Get up out of here with that.
And she had me, and they had 2 kids of their own. Like, I think he had all the
Exception.
options. He was a player. He
Exception to the rule.
was attractive. He had all
Okay.
of those, like, high-value characteristics, a family.
And I mean,
And he still chose to do
it
that.
happens. Sierra exists, right?
Oh!
But the exceptions don't make the rule.
Woo!
And, like, by and
But
large-
to ignore the exceptions is to ignore the
Right, but-
possibility for
Bingo! She said to ignore the exceptions is to ignore the possibilities. And this gentleman is one of the major differences between female advice and male advice. You see, men, we give you advice based on probabilities, not possibilities. This woman, Jamie Lee, is sitting here making them think, well, my dad owned a construction company in Boston and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. I'm sure he was a player, and I'm sure he was attractive. Or even if he was a player and attractive, the exception doesn't make the rule. But something's not right here. This is a guy who was a player, who could allegedly have anything he wants, who also had money, yet he decided to wife up a woman, a single mother who just came out of an alleged abusive relationship. He decided to take on a damaged woman who she says, by her own words, is crazy. But he had options? No, I don't think so.
Stop the cap.
I think she's lying.
the people out there watching.
Right,
in the
but that
audience.
goes back to selling women a dream.
Woo!
And you're gonna tell the average woman that this is what's gonna happen, that millionaire men are gonna check for her. That's just not gonna
but
happen
I'll tell
for the average
women
chick.
who do have children or single moms, here are the characteristics you should look for in a man if you're looking for a partner.
Yes, you can tell them whatever you want. You can tell them to look for X, Y, and Z. But the question they need to ask themselves is a question that Kevin asked a lot. do the men you want you? Here's another question. What do the men you want? Look, man, you can tell, dude, you can tell, and yeah, she snitched on her mom. Yeah, her mom was crazy. Maybe that's why the relationship was abusive. Maybe that's why the relationship was abusive, because her mother was abusive. She didn't specify.
Yeah, let me just weigh in on this. By the way, she hit the nail on the head, because there's rules and exceptions. I get it. Because so for every general rule, you can be like, I know a guy, and one time I met a girl. But
yo, Sosnick is, I'm telling you, Sosnick is learning a lot from this community. He's learning a lot from this community, dude. He is literally using our arguments.
Down any option of like the acceptance, calling it an exception instead of seeing that it's actually very common.
But here's
no, if something is common, it's the rule. If it's common, it can't be the exception. Stop it. What are we doing?
That's where I was going with this, because you used the exact word that I was going to use. She used the word options. Men with options, which we're going to get into. Men with options that can pick, let's get real here, the type of man that you would want to date, whoever that is. Like, think of the guy in your mind that you want to date. Just go there for a second. Whoever that is. Rich, successful, good-looking, this, family-oriented, has kids, whatever. Maybe someone else's kids, whatever. That dude has options.
Yeah.
And the reason that you like him is because
he has options.
He's become that man that has options.
There it is.
Okay, so
somebody's been binging Manosphere. Somebody's been binging Manosphere content because Adam sounds just like us.
You're absolutely right. You have as a high value man, high status man, whatever, you have earned the right to have options, and you should explore those options. Now, you have the option to get with any girl you want, or you have the option to wife up the chick with 2 kids. That's your option. Most guys with options aren't going to do that.
There you go. Thank you.
That's kind of what you're saying with the
And I
rule
don't
and
think
exception.
most of you would want like your brother or your son to marry a woman with kids
Oh!
over one that doesn't. Like if you have a 22-year-old,
She said that's not true.
Stop the cap.
Really? See, here we go. Look. She says that's not true. She's looking for now. What's happening right here, guys? If you're looking at her facial expression, she's looking off into the distance so that she can find a reason to justify telling her brother that it's okay to date single moms. But she knows it's not. She knows it's a bad bet.
Year-old brother.
Yeah.
He has 2 choices: a girl with 2 kids and a girl with no kids.
I think it really depends on the woman.
Nope.
Gotcha, bitch.
Nope. Gotcha. See, that's why Jamie Lee shut the hell up, because she knows the answer.
Like,
No, all things equal, just the kids.
Just the kids?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I wouldn't give a fuck.
Well, first
I
of
would
all, my
trust my
brother's
brother.
broke as fuck, and I'd be like, you shouldn't even have a girlfriend.
See, here we go.
So
Here we go. Here we go. First of all, it wouldn't even. It's so funny how people avoid giving the answer that they know is correct. Well, first of all, my brother shouldn't even have a boyfriend. Yeah, okay, that's all well and good, but you know that you would not endorse your brother dating a single mom if he was actually a man of value. There's no way.
Evaluate.
Well-
But if he was making money and there were kids and like, I don't know, I want a big family and me, my brother, and my sister are kind of creating that. Like we are our family unit. And so I would accept them and I know he would love them.
I mean, I didn't say accept, I said prefer. Like, why would you want him to sign up for more problems?
Thank you.
He has to pay for those kids.
Thank you.
He has to deal with the baby mother.
Right.
What is it, the baby father?
Why are we viewing children as problems?
Because that's how men view it.
Whoa!
That's fucked up.
Hey, you can say it's fucked up all you want to, baby girl, but that's how it is. That's how it is. Single mothers are problems. Their kids are fucking problems. The baby father is a goddamn problem. See? We're talking about the way she thinks should be, but that's not the way things are. Fuck out of here.
Headaches.
It's not.
Cost.
I think.
Do you see the virtue signaling? Well, anytime, you think of kids as problems, and that's fucked up. Well, I guess I'm fucked up. Sorry.
Men who view that as a headache are headaches.
No.
Oh my God, that's stupid. Men who view that as a headache are headaches. See, there we go with the symmetrical word salad. People who view children as headaches are headaches. Why? Why is that? Why that doesn't make any sense. That sounds real cute in a group of girls who are bagging on dudes who don't date single moms. But dude, that doesn't make any sense. That makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Fuck out of here.
Your own kids are still a headache, and they are problems.
Thank you.
But the net reality is they're worth it. Like, I ask all my friends this.
Oh,
I'm like,
Adam.
Because I'm the single guy, the single crew, and in Miami, they're like,
stop
"Bro,
it, Adam.
Take me with you one of these days. Take
See
me
that?
with you." Like,
See that?
I'm like, "What's up? You're married with kids. Don't you love your kids?" Love my kids. so much work.
Love my kids. Those are my kids, not somebody else's. Big difference.
You have no idea. So now you're taking that dude and you're like, yeah, all those problems, those headaches that you choose to have.
Kyle, 2020, says the fact that she wanted to fight Pearl on dismissing the exception is how I know she was lying. Women lie to win arguments all the time. First she lied and said, well, I know men who want to wife up single moms. Pearl says, well, that's the exception, not the rule, and those men don't have options. Well, my stepdad was a man of means and was a player and blah, 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 but he married my crazy mom.
Stop the cap.
That's bullshit. Stop it.
Now it's not even your kids. Now it's like, oh, God, I'm out. And
But
that's
if
kind of
you-
what you're saying.
If you choose those kids, are they not then your kids?
No, they're not.
To an extent,
to
because
an
you
extent.
have to
No, whoa.
consider when people they blend families
Oh
together.
my
You're not
God.
just blending the kids and like you're raising the kids. Like the kids come from a household that's raised from a different standard. Like I come from a blended family, so I understand like the relationships between my sisters that I grew up with versus the blended side of my siblings. It's very different. It's a different dynamic. We grew up.
What difference? Wait, what the fuck is Natalia talking about? We're not talking about from your point of view as a child of a blended family. We're talking about the man. We are talking about the man who ends up marrying a woman with kids. What is she doing?
Kind of differently. We have the same parents essentially, but at the end of the day, like you're almost like fighting with another household dynamic when you have a blended family, and that in itself is the difficult part. I don't think kids are really like difficult. Like kids don't really know what they want. They're kind of everywhere. They're a mess, but we already know that. I think what you're arguing with is the actual significant other raising those kids. That is where the real headache comes in, and I feel like
Okay, now that makes sense. That makes sense. She said it was a bunch of word salad, but then there was a little nugget in there. The real issue comes when the stepdad tries to discipline the stepson or stepdaughter, stepchild.
at the end of the day, if someone could avoid that part of a headache, you essentially would avoid it, But everybody's different. It depends what you're looking for. There's some men who don't want to have their own kids, and they're okay having other people's kids.
What the fuck is she talking about? No! Every man who wants kids wants his kids to be his own. No man says, I like kids, but I don't want to be the biological father of any of them. I want to raise somebody else's biological kids. Unless they're infertile, every man wants his own progeny. What the fuck is Natalia talking about, man?
And they're out there, but ideally,
They're out there, but they don't have options. Fuck out of here.
not really
But
something
they're-
like,
but
oh, I
they're
want a
u-
man with kids. Like,
But
it's
they're
not really-
unicorns. Men that prefer it are unicorns.
Unicorns. You were on the episode.
Yeah,
Unicorns.
like,
Okay,
they
so
exist,
Men
but they're
don't
not
prefer
common.
raising
Yeah.
someone else's kids.
So
Let's leave it
basically
right
we're
there.
Poor man's Peyton Manning was not a unicorn.
Looking for widowed men or women.
What's
If
that?
we want people with kids, we're looking for widows. Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't know. You
That's
you
what
don't
I
gotta
mean.
No, I
be
wouldn't
dead to
even
have
say
kids.
widowed. I would maybe say I think it's very rare to find like people who have blended families, and like you having a
kinda raise
relationship
them
with a baby
differently.
mama is like to me, because a lot of the
Yeah.
times when a man leaves a woman with that they had a kid with, the baby mama's kind of sour because
Yeah.
she left her.
She definitely
And the
was
other
sour.
part that we don't really
Yeah, women end most relationships, so that's invalid.
talk about is that men have no rights to the kids, like even if they've raised them for most of their life. So I
There
have
you
a
go.
co-host, his name's Sarah, and we host a show together on Tuesdays, and he raised someone else's kid for 10 years. And then she cheated and left, and he had no rights to this kid that he
That's
raised.
heartbreaking.
And,
That is
and that's
heartbreaking.
the risk that men are signing up for.
There you go, man.
And the other thing, like I always ask women, like, would
Like you get close to the kid, or you get close to the kid, and you end up having more love for the kid than the woman.
you be okay with a stepfather disciplining your kid, even if you disagree with it? A lot of times it's no.
Oh.
Because that's not their kid.
I was
So
going
it's
to
like,
say women will weaponize that and be like, that's not your kid, that's my kid. It's going
Right.
to go that way.
There you
So
go.
that
So when it goes
is
back to your
difficult.
brother, why would you have him sign up for those potential problems when he could just say, you know what? No kids over there. That's just easier. And I honestly, I would say
Bingo.
the same thing to my sister. Why would you pick a guy with kids when you could pick a guy with no kids?
Well, here's the thing. Now, Pearl is making a false comparison. Men and women are different. Single dads are attractive to single women. Single moms are not attractive to single men for long-term relationship partnership. Senior Sticks says you forget the OnlyFans models don't have to pay. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Let me finalize this and we'll move on. There's things that are ideal, and then there's things that you'll deal with. Okay, ideally, you just meet a girl who's great, amazing. You have kids together. That's ideal. But you'll deal with the fact that you meet an amazing girl, and that you like her kids, and you'll help raise the kids. You'll deal with it, but it's not ideal. Let's leave it there. Next up, we're going to go through 3 topics here. Okay, we have 3 overlying topics that the men at home are going to kind of rate your responses on, if you will.
Oh boy.
Money, dating and sex, and lifestyle and worldviews. I know we talked a lot about that with what type of person you would be with, and thank you for the candid responses. Let's start with money. Very simply, just give a number. Ideally, how much money should your man make a year? Heather.
8 figures.
8 figures.
Ideally.
Okay, so that's $10 million.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Ideally.
Okay,
sure.
ideally. Gotcha.
I mean, ideally or realistically? You asked
Well,
ideally.
let's go realistically, since
Yeah.
ideally is.
8
So you want to date an
Well,
NBA?
shit. Let's go 9, 10 figures. God damn it. Like, dude, really?
You know what? Add a couple million on that.
Yeah, you want to date an NBA player, but like the best NBA player, because most NBA players make like $3 million. You want to date the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins.
No, I don't date athletes.
Or you want to date the CEO of Amazon. All right, so athletes are.
She says, I don't date athletes. Sweetheart, you can't date athletes. Stop it. Stop it. That's like me saying, I don't date Victoria's Secret supermodels. I can't. Come on, fuck out of here.
Yeah, athletes are out.
Okay, so athletes are out. So
Sorry.
all your.
I'm sorry. Athletes are out. Athletes are out. You've got an approaching post-wall Miss America who has on so much makeup she looks like a porcelain doll. Athletes are out. Okay, we're missing out. All right.
Million just got cut in half.
Always, or is this a new?
I've dated athletes and it's just not my thing. So it's just personal.
There
preference.
you go.
Nothing against you guys.
So ideally.
Yep, Devin says that means she dated athletes. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's I didn't pick up on that. If she said no athletes that quick, that means she used to date them.
Really? Respect.
But she ain't. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Jay Blaze just asked the question. Hold up.
10 million just got cut in half.
Always, or is this a new?
I've dated athletes and it's just not my thing. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dre Raven says Pearl caught that. Pearl caught that. Yeah, Pearl is a very good listener. I pick up on most things. Every once in a while, something will slip through the crack. Pearl caught that.
Right, and it's just personal preference.
Okay.
Nothing against you guys.
So
but not for
ideally,
me.
respect 10 million. Fucking shit. By the way, what percentage of men
Devin says she needs to pick up some dumbbells, not athletes, right?
do you think make $10 million a year?
I'm sure it's a very small percentage.
Give me a number.
I'm not good with numbers.
I
don't know. I don't know is the right answer.
No.
1 through 10. I mean, you.
1 through 10. I mean,
1 through 100, like percentage.
It's probably like 1/10 of a percentage.
0.00001%.
Woo! Wow.
Yeah, you got this thing, girl. Okay, that's ideally. Realistically, what would you do with?
Yeah, good luck with that.
I think 6 figures.
Okay, minimum.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Yes, but what percentage of men make 6 figures? Maybe she needs to have a conversation with Courtney Ryan. Or maybe she needs to go to the female delusion calculator.
All right. Respect. So you just went from 100,000. You went from 10 million to 100 grand.
Okay, well, I'm just, you said ideally. Who doesn't want ideally the most amount? Come on.
Oh, God, come on.
Pearl.
You knew what he was asking.
Ideally,
Fuck outta
/
here.
realistically, how much money should your man make a year?
I think ideally for me would be like 70, 80.
70?
70, 80.
That's ideal?
What the? Not
No.
million.
Oh, I
70 million
Pearl almost said, what the fuck?
a year or lose
crazy.
my number, homie.
I don't know where, like, girls on my show say this all the time, like 6 figures up. Like, I've never thought I was going to date a guy that made 6 figures.
Why?
I don't.
You make
Does
6
your
figures
dad make
now.
more than 6 figures?
Listen to these girls. Well, did your dad make more than 6 figures? Well, then you should be able to date a guy. No. Being able to date a guy who makes 6 figures requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of work. Pearl, to me, Pearl is being self-aware. She understands that at the present time, yeah, maybe a guy who makes $70,000, $80,000 is something she qualifies for. But if she keeps doing what she's doing, it's just like I said at the beginning of this year, with all of the clout she has, trust me, she's on people's radars. She's on people's radars. And again, Pearl doesn't talk to me about her love life, but I would not be surprised if she had blue check marks in her Instagram DMs. And if she's getting blue check marks in her Instagram DMs, guess what? They're not looking for sex. They're not just looking for sex. They're looking for a relationship. Look at the way Pearl presents herself. Look at the way she presents herself. Yeah, she's grounded. She's not delusional. She has common sense. She works hard. And she's not trying to do this forever. That much I know is true.
Yeah.
So don't you want to give your kids the life that you've had?
Well, of course. Everyone wants to give their kids the life that they have, but not every woman can.
We grew up pretty frugal. Like, we made a lot of money, but you had
a slide in your backyard.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I grew up on fuel assistance and welfare. That's a very big
slide
difference.
go into the pool or just on?
Wait a minute. She says she grew up on something assistance and welfare. What about the stepdad? When did he come in?
The grass.
In the pond.
Oh,
that is the sign of wealth right there. Because a slide just onto the grass,
Or
it's like grow
think
up.
about it. You do sports. You've been able to travel. There's a lot of things that your family has been able to provide. $70K, it's hard to send your kids even on an AAU team.
Yeah.
AAU team. What does she know about AAU? You know it.
Okay, so the question is, because are you getting that number because there's a study out there that says $70,000 is the baseline that creates happiness, and anything above that is more materialism and consumerism? Is that where you're getting that number?
No, I got the number because it's a little more than what I used to make at my sales job.
Okay.
So it's just that's what I used to make, roughly $50K.
Okay.
So you said ideally, honestly,
Right.
I was just thinking the same job that I used to have.
Interesting.
I mean, I
So
did
what
good
would you
on-
say to someone who's saying, Pearl, you're crushing it right now. I assume you're making way more than 70,000. What would you say to the people out there that it's like, come on, Pearl, you're selling yourself short. Do better.
I mean, how do I put it?
Dude, men don't give a damn about what a woman makes. They just don't. I say it all the time, guys. I say it all the time. Myron actually says this more succinctly than I do. The more money a man makes, the more doors open. The more money a woman makes, the more doors closed. Guess what? Love Pearl to death. But she's not an exception to the rule. She's not an exception to the rule. Because of her background and the wealth of her family, and now her success on YouTube, if a dude is going to step to her, he's going to have some net worth. He's going to have some net worth. And so even though Pearl has a much wider I think even though Pearl has clearly she has a much wider reach, more people know who she is than people she actually knows, right? But that doesn't mean that she's just going to have all of these dating options. No. Pearl's not going to date. Dude, Pearl is hypergamous. She's not going to date down. She's not going to date down. She's not going to fuck down. She's not going to marry down. She's going to date up. She's going to marry up.
I mean, how do I put it? Sure, if that happened, great. I just don't think it's that realistic. I mean, it's such a small percentage of guys that make that much money. I think it would be unrealistic of me to think, oh, this guy has to make more money than me.
Okay.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna give you- There it is. Pearl is incredibly introspective and self-aware.
Some numbers in a second as far as what men make and what percentage of men make, but let's go down the line here and then I'll give you some numbers. Ideally / realistically, how much do you want your man to make?
Ideally, we're on the same page, girlfriend. Ideally, I would
Of course, we're on the same page. Here we go.
Yeah, a successful entrepreneur.
Oh my God.
Who is making more money than me. We did discuss, because we were on the pregame, so tune into her podcast. what like my lowest would be, and I think I said 120 or 150.
Okay. So minimum baseline
Minimum.
is six-figure man. Minimum.
Yeah.
So she wants a brother who makes 120 to 150 a year.
Okay. How about you, Emily?
Ideally, I love where my ladies' heads are at. Let's be a little delusional, you know? I'd say at least 10 million. You know what? Fuck it. Let's make it 50 mil a year, ideally.
So you
I
guys
want two
are
slides.
comfortable. You guys are comfortable with being delusional.
Absolutely.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not comfortable with being delusional. The reason why she's like, 60, let's go with 50 million. That's stupid.
Delusional. I've dated a guy whose house was 8 figures.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's...
Yeah, and where is he now? Where is he now? Oh, wait. That's the professional athlete. Yeah. Okay. Just because you dated... See, again, you see this? I dated a guy whose house was worth 8 figures. That statement right there, guys, that statement right there literally confirms what we've been saying all along. Once women date the highest of the high, professional athletes, they're ruined for life. Because they think, well, I dated a guy whose house is worth 8 figures. She thinks that she can get a guy to commit to her. Nope. And just because you dated him, see, girls say date as a replacement word for fuck. Okay, so you fucked a guy. Yes, Shane will win. There it is. It says dated equals fucked. Absolutely. Just because you fucked a dude whose house is worth 8 figures does not mean that dudes whose homes are worth 8 figures are going to want to commit to you. There's a big difference between sexual market value and relationship market value. I say this all the time.
It's just... Okay. You know, I know it's out there.
You're
It's
not-
out there.
you're- How about this? How about
to make
this?
money.
You're not delusional because you've done it before. Have you ever dated a guy who makes 10 million a year?
Oh, please. I've dated brokies.
Okay. So
Yeah, that's not a surprise. But Adam is I think Adam might need to brush up on his red pill podcasts. Because just because you've done it before doesn't mean you can do it again. Number one. Number two, she fucked a guy whose house was worth 8 figures, but she didn't get the commitment. Where is he now? In the fucking wind.
maybe you're delusional and she's not,
Yeah.
and you're embracing that.
I'll stay delusional, honey.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so
So realistically,
Yes, realistically now.
I think on Pearl's podcast we did talk about this minimum for if it's a single family provider.
Yeah.
I would want my husband to be making 120, 150 around there.
got it.
This woman is not nearly attractive enough. This woman is not nearly attractive enough to date a guy who's making $120,000 to $150,000 a year. This is the type you can actually tell this, what this girl looks like is the equivalent of someone who's skinny fat. Someone who's skinny fat. The only reason why she's not fat is because she's still young. She doesn't work out. I can promise you she doesn't work out. But as soon as she hits 30, it's a wrap.
Okay. So there's realistically, we're in the 6 figures, 70K category. Delusional status, I meet this guy making 8 figures, 10, 20 million bucks a year. Okay. Now, if that guy makes 10, 20 million dollars a year, let's go there for a second. How comfortable would you be if he cheated on you every once in a while? Not all the time, but once a year. Heather, I love you, baby, but I'm going on a business trip. By the way, I made $10 million this year. So you like your G-Wagon that you're driving.
I mean,
you like the mansion.
That's how it is.
Real
I
shit.
think-
So you're
I
okay
do-
with that?
I agree that
Real
is how
shit.
it is. But
Ooh.
there's, there's a payoff for everything.
There it is. Okay, well, at least she understands. At least she understands.
You are comfortable with it.
I'm not comfortable with it. It's not ideal if we're speaking idealistically. But
Once
I mean,
a year,
I
you'll
think
deal with it, though.
if I'm driving a G-Wagon, I'd rather cry in a G-Wagon.
Yeah.
What's
I
this
love that.
saying?
There it is. That dude.
Okay.
Hey, man, I am not mad at that. Hey, look. Would you rather cry in a G-Wagon or cry in a used Mazda MX-6? Huh?
So once a year, what about 10 times a year? About once a month.
I mean, it all depends on the situation.
It all depends on the situation. Translation, just don't let me find out about it. Don't embarrass me. Don't disrespect me. Dude, listen, man. If your value is high, women would never say this out loud, but if your value is high enough, she will tolerate the cheating. So long as you don't embarrass her or disrespect her. That's just how it goes, man. Don't fuck her in your bed. Don't bring home any STDs. Don't get anybody pregnant, and don't fucking get caught. Don't let me catch you. Don't let my friends catch you, because if my friends catch you, then I have to explain to them why I'm still with you. No. Don't embarrass her. Senior Sticks with the $2 super chat says, climbing Mount Everest once doesn't make it standard. That's a very good point.
He's now making $20 million a year. You have 2 G-Wagons. One for you and one for your assistant.
Name, sure.
Oh, no. It's not going to be in your name, baby girl. No, sir.
Wow.
Okay.
Guys, make your fucking money. You'll date Miss Montana, cheat on her as much as you want, but you got to make $10 to $20 million a year.
Yeah, I would get an allowance. I would be like, put money in stocks for me, like start a company for me, like little things on the side where I'm making money, and if you cheat on me.
Sweetheart, listen, I understand what she's talking about, and it's all fun and games, but like, you got to be worth that, right? Like, you got to be worth that. Like, you have to provide your man. I've said to you guys a million times that if I were to choose to leave Devin, I would make sure she's taken care of financially. Why? Because she's been a good woman to me for almost 7 years. We're going to have our 7-year anniversary in 13 days. Yep, January 19th, our 7-year anniversary, guys. She has taken very good care of me over these 7 years. Now, if she decides to leave, she ain't getting shit. But you don't get stocks in a G-Wagon and all that just for showing up. Nope. Sorry. Yeah, Jay Blaze says she'd be the side bitch. Yeah, Jamie Lee's a side chick. She's a side chick. Like, she's not a main chick. Pearl is main chick material. Jamie Lee is side chick material. The other chick, I don't know.
Now flip it. The dude making 70 grand a year, or even 100 grand a year.
No.
See?
Is he allowed to cheat on you?
No, that guy will treat you better. So it's a
Who's gonna
balance.
treat you better?
The guy that makes less money.
That's
because
right.
Would you rather?
False.
There you go. She makes a good point.
Would you rather?
It's false.
Would you rather the guy that makes $120 a year but treats you great, doesn't cheat on you, respects you, or the guy that makes $10 million a year, probably treats you okay, but definitely cheats on you, but you're driving a G-Wagon?
Oh, no, that's a false question, because a man making $120 a year is definitely going to cheat on you. This is an easy answer for the girls. They're going to pick the $120,000 nigga because they're getting a top 1% man who doesn't act like one. So you're asking, who would you rather be with? Who would you rather be with? The super rich guy or the guy who's in the top 1% in terms of income? Well, the answer is yes.
Just because he
which would you pick?
It depends on the guy. Ideally, I want somebody that I can have fun with. That's really important to me, that we get along, because I view marriage as, it's a 50-year-long conversation. So if you're somebody that I can have a good conversation with, that's what's most important to me. So if we can have fun together, have a good conversation, travel, and just have a good time.
Travel. If we can have a good conversation, travel. Yeah, boo, traveling takes money. Traveling takes money. I don't look, ladies. It's okay. It's okay to admit that money is important to you. It's okay. Looks are important to us men. We make that very clear. We never try to. Another difference between women and men. We as men, we freely admit our nature. Yes, we are attracted to the way a woman looks first. Women hate to admit that a dude with a Lamborghini and a couple of hoes with some fake tits is also attractive. That's pre-selection and money. That's my priority. So it depends on the person.
Wow.
That was beautiful.
This is why
Yeah, that was beautiful, but also very unrealistic.
men need to make money because girls just want to have fun.
Yeah.
Fun costs money.
That's right.
Men need to make money because men want women, and women want
Wanna have fun.
Yeah,
and
making
fun costs money.
money.
And guys need to make money because men want women, and women want fun, and fun costs
circular.
money. And that's just how it
There
goes.
it is.
We're gonna do a whiteboard episode on that, right,
Yes,
Nat?
yes.
Girls just want to have fun. You were saying, what were you saying about the we were talking about how delusional you are.
Oh.
Continue. You're saying that the guy that
So
makes
if he's
10, 20
making
million,
10
he could do
million?
whatever he wants. Can he do any wrong? He
No.
could cheat on you? Anything?
No, he still has to be accountable to me. I'm
Why?
still
He's
his
giving
wife.
you an allowance and you're driving a G-Wagon. Why is he
Exactly.
still accountable?
And
he's getting this pussy.
and I'm raising his children.
So he's getting that pussy? So what do you have, like a magical
is.
pussy that like has leprechauns coming out?
Oh, listen to Sosnick. Listen to Sosnick. Listen to Sosnick verifying that women think that their vaginas are worth more than a man's tears, his time, his energy, his attention, and his resources. Yeah, he's got to be accountable. I'm raising, he's like, well, wait a minute. He's making the money. You're driving a G-Wagon. Well, I'm raising his kids. Yeah, they're your kids too, bitch. She's acting like she's doing a nigga a favor by raising his kids. No, bitch. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do, boo. Dude, it's so funny. Women want everything and more. They want a man. They expect a man who makes $10 million a year to be faithful. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. You got the house. You got the allowance. You never have to pay bills. You drive a G-Wagon, but you still expect him not to stick his dick in other chicks because you're actually doing something that you're supposed to be doing. Fuck out of here.
I honestly
What?
do. You should hit up my
Sell
exes
them
and
a
ask.
dream.
Yeah.
This is what I say when I say women want to be sold a dream.
That's
You want
it.
a rich
Weigh
guy
in
that
on this,
doesn't
bro.
cheat on you? Oh, come on.
Yes.
At least she gets it. She knows what rich problems come with.
That's
I
right.
think ideally no one wants anyone to
Let's
cheat
find
on
a
them.
unicorn.
But I think a lot of women would put up with it.
Thank you.
But this is
okay,
like the
there you go.
cognitive dissonance that I think men have a problem with, right? So here you are, you got freaking Miss USA over here, Miss Montana. I mean, I think you should have won, but I think it was stolen from you. However, so on one hand, you want a guy that you can have fun with, that treats you right, but you also want a guy that makes $10 million a year, ideally, and you're acknowledging the fact that if you're making $10 million, yeah, I get it. You're gonna have, more money, more problems, but
More
maybe
money,
that
more
guy would treat you
problems.
better, but he doesn't make enough money. Does it just come down to lifestyle? That like, are women, I guess, Pearl, my question to you is, are women realistic with the lifestyle that they really want versus what is the ideal lifestyle that they actually probably need? What are your thoughts?
Are they realistic with the lifestyle
Yeah,
that they
like
want?
these women
Hell
are
no.
obsessed with, not this woman, but women are obsessed with lifestyle. I've heard you talk about this before. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, women marry a lifestyle. Because who's the first one gone when he loses his job? Her. That's like
There
one of
you
the
go.
number one indicators that you're going to get divorced is if he loses his job.
There it is.
So that's why they say like women can't love in the same way that like men can love, because once you lose what you have, like a lot of times women leave.
Woo!
This is such a
Wow.
this is such a good point out there.
But why-
men fall in love, like ideally, like ideologically, like romantically, because there's no strings attached. I don't care, baby. Like I don't care what you do. I don't care what you make. I don't care what your career is. I love you. Whereas women are
Right.
like, I love you, but I also love your mansion, your house, your cars, even if you have kids or whatever.
and I think-
ideal lifestyle.
And I think the older a woman gets, the harder it is for her to genuinely love. Like there are some girls that are ride or dies, right? There are, but I just have noticed they tend to be that way if they met their man young. And like the more trauma like a girl's gone through, I just think it's harder for her to really love a guy like that.
Bingo. There you go. That's how it works. Man, Pearl is dropping nuggets, dude.
Gotcha. By the way, quick stat. How much does the average man in America
Wow. Oh my God, I cannot believe he is busting out the stats. What?
make? If you know the answer, don't say it, because you
$33,000.
probably, how much?
$33,000.
33,000. Okay.
So
I
she
was
Good
gonna say
guess.
46.
46. Heather,
I'd say like 50.
50.
It's like
you know
40
the answer?
It's like
Hold
40.
on, before you give it.
Go with that.
Natalia,
I would say hopefully 50.
average man, 50. Gotcha.
I think it's 45.
That's
but
it.
I feel like it went up in the last year or two to 50 something.
You ready for this? The average man in America makes $38,000 a year.
Wow.
Okay. How much does the average woman in America make?
Less than that.
Average woman. Emily.
Well,
Okay, go
I
ahead.
don't think that's a fair statistic because
Oh, here
a lot
we
of women are stay-at-home mothers and technically they don't make an income.
Okay, sweetheart. Average is average. Average is average. That $8,000 a year, that also includes broke niggas. This also includes men who are unemployed. So, I mean, you know, let's do it.
Well, it's still a statistic, whether it's fair or not.
Actually, there were
Thank you.
statistics I
It's
looked up
different.
last night. There's only a 3% difference between women who are married if they have jobs or not. 3% difference.
And we wonder why half of all marriages end in divorce.
All right, well, stay-at-home moms are people, so you just made fun of stay-at-home moms. They
No,
got
I'm saying
they
but
are
I'm
people too,
saying
Heather.
They
You're gonna be a
skew-
stay-at-home
they
mom.
skew the data.
When you-
Cancel me,
when-
go ahead.
When you marry that guy who makes 10 figures or 8 figures or whatever, you're gonna probably be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Well, he's not gonna care about your law degree at that point. He's like, law degree, small degree. I fucking run Amazon. You're taking care of the kids. Anyway, so I'll say this again. What do you think the average woman makes in America today? What number?
I have no idea.
What was the men's
Average.
number?
The man's number is 38,000 a year. Average.
Probably.
Okay.
Now, obviously, everyone here is above average and everyone's doing great, but this is how math works, you know.
Well, I would say women probably make it on average less, so I would say 30,000.
Okay, 30. Pearl, what's your number?
I would guess the same.
30.
I'm just going to do something different. I'm going to say 40.
Okay, so you're
Damn
saying
it.
more than men.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus
Oh, wow.
fucking Christ.
That's female empowerment right there, ladies and gentlemen.
No, that's not female empowerment. That's stupid. I'm just going to do something different for the sake of argumentative sake. She knows she's wrong. She knows she's wrong. She knows that she is wrong, but she's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to give the wrong answer. That's what's wrong with fucking bitches like this, dude.
She took my 40. I'll just go with 38.
Just go 41 then.
Yeah, there you go.
Nat?
I'd say.
I don't care what she thinks.
28.
28.
That's what
Deli, throw a number your way. Just making sure you're awake.
32.
32.
I like the 28.
The average woman in America makes 25,000. That's 13
Wow.
less. Okay, here we go.
Oh my God, it's
what
the pay gap.
percentage of men make 6 figures or more in
Ooh,
America
here we go.
today?
Here we
6
go.
figures or more. You can include stay-at-home moms in this
Oh,
weird
boy.
figure right now. Let's start this way. What percentage
Yeah,
of
what
men
about stay-at-home
make
dads?
over 6 figures? Go
Men
ahead.
are people. Are we including stay-at-home moms?
No, we're just talking men.
Okay.
What percentage of men make $100,000 or more?
Here we
I'm
go.
gonna say 30.
30%. Okay. Jamie?
This bitch, hold up. Wait a minute. This bitch really thinks that 1 out of 3 men walking around America makes $100,000 a year. She really thinks that 1 out of 3 men in America make $100,000 a year. Unbelievable.
10%.
10%.
Oh my God.
Pearly things?
This is even worse.
I feel like it's 10%, but I'm going to say 8 to switch it up.
Oh, Pearl, fail. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Listen. Check this out. Wait, what did she say? Did she say 8%? Wait a minute. Well, hold on. I thought it was less than that. So maybe I'm wrong.
Ooh. Heather?
I'm going to say 7.
7?
Look at
Natalia
us.
Del Valle.
Now it's getting prices right. $15,251.
5.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. What number was
It's
Dan Marino?
13.
Who's Dan Marino?
I don't know.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Bad
Dan-
hint.
Greatest dollar.
Bad hint for a girl
7.
lineup.
Dan Marino was number 13.
13.
13% of men make $100,000 or more.
Okay.
So that means 9 out of 10 guys almost are not making 6 figures.
I don't think that's accurate. Of men make 6 figures. Let me just look this up. I don't know. Okay, well, whatever.
13's
Okay.
higher than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
a lot-
actually thought it was 15, so
Okay.
it's now 13. By the way, fun fact, what percentage of women
Yeah, I don't know how to gauge any of this, but I don't think that's correct. 1 out of 10 men, if 1 out of 10 men really, if better than 1 out of 10 men made 6 figures, I don't know. Let's sees in household income, 8% of all U.S. All right, well, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Make $100,000 or more.
I think.
Are you raising your hand or
No, I'm
giving
saying-
Oh, yes. Jay Blaze says most of those are 50 plus. Okay, that's true. That's very, very true. You know what? You're right. I think that might be an accurate answer, because when we do the female delusion calculator, when we do the female delusion calculator, we always put age into the data set. They want a man from 30 to 40 who makes $100,000 a year, but most men who make $100,000 a year or more are older.
I think five.
You can speak as much as you want.
No,
bro.
I'm saying I think
she's
5.
going with 5.
Yeah.
You're taking the over under on
I'll
that.
keep 7.
7.
Oh man, I don't know. Probably a smaller amount. I'm
yeah,
gonna
women's
go
empowerment.
with 11.
11.
12.76.
She's good. That's a pizza rating.
Give me a break.
Nat?
I'll stick with 5.
5. All right, so the answer is 6. You were very close.
see?
So just to be clear, the average man in America makes $38,000 a year. The average woman makes $25,000. Okay? 13% of men make over $100,000 a year. 6% of women make $100,000 a year. When you hear these numbers, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Anything stick out to you?
I'm delusional. I'm done.
A badass.
So you're a badass. And why?
Wait, what? Hold the fucking phone. Hold up.
A woman makes $25,000. Okay? 13% of men make over $100,000 a year. 6% of women make $100,000 a year. When you hear these numbers, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Anything stick out to you?
I'm a badass.
So you're a badass. And why are you a badass?
6%.
Okay.
Well,
Stop the cap.
She ain't in that 6%, man. She ain't in that 6%, dude. You're a part of a crappy podcast. Get out of here.
I'm just thinking it's like, okay, 3 of them here want guys that make 6 figures. How many are actually going to get it?
There you
And
go.
that's why they say like 45% of women will be single and childless.
There it is.
Amazing stat. Morgan
but
Stanley.
I do think that all of us here are in that small percentage of women, so that puts us at a higher status to get that higher status man as well.
Ah. And therein lies the disconnect. Therein lies the disconnect. This woman foolishly thinks that the more money she makes, the more attractive it will make her. And that ain't the case. That is not the case. Remember, we said it before. The more money a man makes, the more doors open. The more money a woman makes, the more doors close. Let's see if anybody says anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think as I made more money, I
Look at this.
started surrounding myself with men who made more money.
Oh, this is funny. Computer, turn off the overhead light.
Now the rooms that I'm in, like I'm not really in rooms where men are making 30 grand. Like those aren't even the men that I'm having conversations.
You're not in rooms with men making 30 grand. That I believe. I do believe that she is in rooms where men make $100,000 and more. But I got news for you, Red. None of those men are looking your way for anything outside of sex. So you making $100,000 a year, it has nothing to do with your sexual market value. Hate to break it to you. Hate to break it to you, boo, but that's always the way it's been, and that's always the way it will be.
This is such a perfect setup for you. I asked you the question.
Oh, boy.
What type of lifestyle? What should women do with their life? Or what's the ideal situation? You said, well, men lead, women follow, right? And I said, well, what does that mean? What are you telling an 18-year-old girl to do? And you said, prioritize finding a man.
Black Lamer 2009 said she's going to get passed around that room. Yep. Jay Sebastian says, yes, as entertainment. Yeah, nobody thinks that she's in these rooms with all these rich men because of her socioeconomic status. Nope. Nope. You are in these rooms as entertainment. Yep. She's in bedrooms. That's right.
Right? Remember this conversation? And put yourself in situations where you can find that man and recognize what you want. So you gave the example of the girl who did the concessions
at
the VIP at whatever basketball game.
There you go.
And you were like, tell that story.
Oh, I had box seats the other day. My dad's friend gave it to our family, so we went. And I didn't realize how expensive box seats are. They're it's you have to pay
crazy.
$100K for the year or something. I'm like, that is crazy. And So basically, when we were there, everyone that's up there is worth like millions of dollars.
Yep.
And there was a girl going by and doing the desserts at every place. And I was just thinking she was fumbling a bag because this girl was obese. And I was like, girl, if you were like skinny and in shape and like pretty, you could bag one of these guys. And so I was thinking that if you were going to go that route, like you really wanted a rich guy to like get one of those jobs.
There you go.
By the way, such a powerful.
There you go.
Such a powerful
she was fumbling such an
anecdote right there.
opportunity.
If you're that rich dude, or if you're a bunch of dudes, and you're in the VIP, what is this, like the club, this is wherever it is, and a baddie walks in and she's the convenience cart girl. Hey guys, time for dessert. If you're a successful guy, you're like,
I'm gonna take you away.
who's
from
this girl?
Yeah, right.
Like, just quit your job right now. You just now got box seats. You're hanging with us.
Holler.
But if you're a fat girl, it's like, yeah, I'll take the fucking eclair.
Yeah. If you're a fat girl, it's... Damn it, come on, Randy.
It's a no for me, dog.
All right, keep it moving there, Chunky. Like, that's just the reality.
I think there are fat women who are confident and men like that.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Dude, you can tell by the look on her face. You can tell by the look on her face she don't believe that. I think fat women are confident and men like that. No, we don't. Dude, there is nothing more fucking annoying than a confident fat woman. Get out of here. Oh, my God. Dude, fat women are never confident. Fat women are notoriously insecure. But they hide their insecurity with an unrealistic amount of self-love and confidence. Lizzo hates herself. She absolutely, positively hates herself. I'm not trying to hear nothing else. Lizzo hates herself. If she could be skinny tomorrow, if Lizzo could be a bad bitch tomorrow, she would do it. Get out of here.
Wrong.
Adam, do you want to hook up with a girl that's confident or hot?
Thank you.
Obviously hot. And
Thank
I will
you.
say this.
Thank you.
I know plenty of guys that will bag a fatty for one night, like a chubby chaser. Like, they'll take her down and be like, yeah, bro, like, I banged a BBW girl. Like, yeah, okay. Like, they'll kind of discreetly talk about it, but they ain't taking her out in public,
No,
homie.
sir.
They'll
They're
take
not
her to a
livening it up.
restaurant, dark.
Nope.
Like, don't nobody know me. They'll do whatever. They're not.
It
they're
sounds
not
like you're
taking
talking
her,
about like a bridge troll, though. Like, there's a difference between a bridge
that's
troll and a bigger woman who, like...
I mean, look, man, there is such a thing as a starter girl. Now, a starter girl should never be a fatty. A starter girl should never be a fatty, but there are bridge girls. It happens.
But why do we do
Handles
this? It's
herself
not like we
up.
tell short, broke men.
Thank
Be
you.
confident.
Thank you.
We do, absolutely.
Thank
No,
you.
we don't.
No, we don't tell. Now, Pearl. No, we do tell short, balding men that they need to be confident, right? But girls are not into short, balding men unless they have confidence and or money, right?
They call him
Confidence is a huge
delusional. They
thing.
call him, I don't want no scrub. A scrub. Like,
Oh!
there's a song. We don't tell them to be confident.
Well,
but
scrub is a guy that ain't getting no love
for
from
some
me.
reason, fat chicks get special treatment. I don't get it.
I think it's also interesting that, I don't know, maybe 100, 150 years ago, fat people in general were considered the beauty standard.
Sweetheart, 100, 150 years ago, there were very few fat people. There were very few fat people. What the fuck is she talking about? Fatness has never been the beauty standard. Get the hell out of here.
So bodies in our entire universe have been very
Thank you.
cyclical
Where?
trends.
Thank you.
Give me
all
an
across the
example
world
of that.
when
All
there
across
was
Big girls
Where?
were like
Here we
all
go.
the rage.
Yeah, where?
So let's say 100 years ago where
Where?
All
there were,
over the world, in the U.S.
there
where?
were fief classes or like serfdoms, and there were people who had money to spend
100
on
years
food.
ago? You mean 1,000 years ago?
Or 200? I don't know.
This bitch has no idea what the fuck she's talking about. She's just talking to talk. Ay, ay, ay.
I'm not a mathematician like you, Adam.
Oh my God, this bitch just said, I'm not a mathematician. Bitch, it's called a historian. Dude, hold up. Jesus.
I
No,
don't
they're
think
definitely,
that
like-
you can give me a tangible example of
The
where
other
like,
example that I
the
always-
bigger girls were getting all the love.
The other example I always get is some tribe in Africa.
Which tribe?
So I don't think
that's
it's
just
real,
it.
but I've heard a lot about it on the show. That's
Yeah.
always the
Oh,
exception.
I know what you
that-
mean.
Oh, there's a tribe in
Wakanda.
Africa.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah, but guess what? Even if that tribe in Africa existed, We're not in Africa.
No, that's where it's all happening. It's some fictional place.
It's like, okay, but again, it's funny that we started the show with selling dreams, because that's what you're doing.
Well, I wasn't giving anyone
you're saying that, some guys like confident girls, but you know deep down that if a girl came in, she was 250, 300 pounds, you would not be scared of her stealing your man.
Thank you.
Because you know deep down they're not checking for her.
Woo! Give it to him. Yes, sir. Give it to him.
I feel like I've dated men who prefer that, and I was kind of the exception to the rule.
Oh my
Why do we
God.
do this?
Dude.
You know it's not true. It's like you're
Wow! Pearl is straight. Dude, Pearl straight told her, why do we do this? You know it's not true. Like, Pearl is a straight calling her out. Like, dude, why are we capping? Well, I've dated guys who prefer, really, what kind of guys were they?
Because you know
my
deep
dad
down.
also, I'm just going to out you, Benjamin. I'm so sorry. He is a chubby chaser. He prefers women, and my mother was heavier. His wife was heavier. That's just his type. So, like we were talking about.
Yeah, what kind of a man was your father, though? Right? What kind of a man was your what kind of a man was your father? Guys, listen. We all say we know somebody with a chubby chaser. But as Myron always says, you give a chubby chaser $1 million, a blue check, and a Lambo, his preferences will change very quickly. Miss me with that.
Exceptions earlier. There are exceptions to the rule.
But the exception doesn't make the rule. Sorry.
Why?
We
I have a question.
to do this.
Then why? Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
then why don't you see the richest, most successful men with plus size women?
Got her. There we go. Got her again. There it is. Because men don't like fat women. That's why.
If that's true. When men, that's their preference. It's not that they don't have options.
Yes, and this is exactly what I was saying. Is
wow. If that's their preference, you know they don't have options. There you go, Pearl.
Out there, you're going to be able to throw out some random story, some exceptions. I get that we can't paint with a large brush and all that, but we're talking exceptions and rules. Anything you say, there's going to be, well, I know a rich guy that dates a big girl. I know a girl that will happily be with some broke dude. I know a guy that will take on 3 kids from a new chick. But these are very few and far between. So it's not reality. Let's be based in reality here. By the way, Heather needs to leave in the next 15 minutes, so I want to extract much from Heather as possible.
Knees Duts with the $5 super chat. Appreciate that very much. Says typical straying in medieval times. Yes, girth was a sign of opulence, which was abundance or plenty to eat, but not beauty. Thank you.
Heather, when you do land your man, what percentage of the bills are you going to take care of?
Dude, Adam is going straight Kevin Samuels. That's what he's doing. Sosnick is going straight up Kevin Samuels on these bitches.
Well, I think it depends. So if I'm the stay-at-home wife, if we have kids, then he would be taking care of 100% of the bills.
There you go.
Okay. So ideally, he's paying everything. Okay. And how much should your monthly allowance be?
Depends on how much he makes.
That is a good question. I mean, you have to take into consideration what it takes to stay fit and stay looking good to keep a guy that looks like that. So I mean,
so
hair
how much a
appointments.
month?
I don't have a number exactly.
Hair, nails, clothes, skin,
a gym
tan,
membership,
baddie, looking good, fit, clothes.
That's not an allowance. That's just me taking care of shit. Devin got her nails done a few days ago. I paid for that. She got her hair done about 2 hours ago. I paid for that. That's how it goes.
Savings.
What's your monthly allowance that the rich dude who's wifing you up would need to give you? There's a number in mind, right?
I don't have a number in mind, but
make up a number.
No, I don't know. I keep throwing out.
What's 10 grand a month? More or less.
Yeah,
10 grand a month.
Perfect.
So you're gonna get 120 grand a year just to be hot and cool.
Yeah, and
I want to come back as Heather.
To raise kids, to raise a family.
That's funny.
All right. What's your monthly allowance, by the way?
Oh boy.
I have a trust fund.
Yeah, no wonder you only wanted to do to make 70K because Daddy's got to go in. Oh my God.
There it is.
No,
okay.
And I'll say
it is.
seriousness. Like, I feel like with rent included, I usually spend like $5K or less a month.
Yes.
So.
Okay, so that should be your allowance to stay home.
Well, that would include like rent and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no, if rent's taken care of, your car's taken care of, your bills are taken care of.
You don't really need any.
I need
You don't
to spend
need an
some money
allowance.
because it does cost a lot more money to be a woman than a man. What do I mean by that?
I should know
From a
this.
man, you need to pay. I'm not talking about rent, bills, insurance, like basic type stuff. I'm talking about like upkeep. Like,
I remember at the CME last May. So I flew Pearl out to the CME, Allie, all of them. And I remember, I think we were all getting ready to go to lunch or something again. And it was me, Devin, Allie, and Pearl. And we're all just, talking, getting ready, da-da-da-da. And I remember Pearl, she says to Devin, she's like, Devin, I need you to teach me how to girl. I thought that was so funny. She's like, I need you to teach me how to girl. I just thought that was funny.
today I fucking got out of the shower, I threw some clothes on, I'm out, boom. You had to do your hair, your makeup, you had to make sure that everything's good, your mascara. By the way, you're killing it.
I mean,
lipstick,
in
it
that
costs a lot
sense-
more money to be a chick.
It looks like Miss Montana is definitely definitely putting on weight. You can see that with a bunch of filters and makeup. That doesn't even look like a real photo. But listen, she's attractive. There's no doubt about it. Oh, there's a nice picture of her. She's got a nice, I can promise you she does not look like, well, I don't know. Her arms are a little more chunky, so I'm not really sure if she's keeping in shape. She definitely does not look like that now. That's for sure. So she better get with it. She better get with it.
Right. But I mean, in that sense, if we're talking, the car's paid, rent's paid, all that, then I mean, 10 grand, that's a lot. I could spend 10 grand a month, but
Well, think
sure
about
you
all
can.
that. If
much.
every year you invest
Okay.
in that, what if something goes wrong and you have a low allowance, you don't have as much savings, and then you're starting over from square one? I'd want like contingency where I'm like, every year it goes up. For every year I'm investing in you, you invest a little more in me.
Oh, no, bitch. Nope, that is not the way it goes. Nope. Sorry. Just because you invest, girls think that their very presence is worth investment. If I'm investing in you, you got to invest in me. No, bitch. Just because you're here doesn't mean you're investing anything. Well, I'm investing my time, and time is most important. Dude, sweetheart, I could replace you with fucking 6 of you. I need something more than just your presence. Devin gave me much more than just her presence. And this is exactly why I have invested in her. But I'm not about to continue putting more and more away just to give you some sort of a pension to give you assurances. No. See, now you're looking for a parachute. Now you're looking for a parachute. She wants a 401k and this and that and the third. Oh, so you want an incentive to blow up the relationship? Sorry, not going to happen.
And that way, if we both...
It's called cost of living increase.
There we
That's
go.
exactly what happens in Social Security. It's exactly what we're familiar with inflation. Not a bad move.
Adam,
Shrewd move by Jamie.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it.
What would be reasonable to you?
Ooh,
Because you probably tick
Yeah.
a lot of those boxes.
Yeah,
right?
well, I've done this before.
Yeah,
Speaking
so
from
what's
experience.
Because I'd imagine if you say
Yeah.
too high of a number, is that a red flag to a guy or no?
Of course it's too high of
Yeah.
a number.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I'm not making $10 million a year, okay? I'm making well over 6
Right.
figures. When I was with a girl that lived with me for a while, I said, rent's paid, bills are paid, I'm taking care of food.
Balisa Guitar says, pussy ages like cars, not like houses. Patrice O'Neill, right?
Groceries. Literally, you have no expenses. Here's a car. I hope you like a Lexus. Boom. You got nothing to do. And then she negotiated. She's like, because I didn't know at the time. I'm like,
Right.
everything's free. Congratulations. And she goes, well, what about everything else? I was like, well, what do you mean? And this is where I learned about women. Hair, clothes, nails, makeup, manis, petties, spray tans, this, that, the other. And I go, how much do you want a month? She goes, $2,000. I go,
What?
That's
I
it?
go, all right, you got a deal.
$2,000. One girl said, what? And another girl said, that's it? I swear to God, man, bitches think money grows on trees.
She could have got 5 out of me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's how you always
But I
start
gave her-
higher. And you
but I gave her
negotiate
two.
down.
Why I said 10, you
She
guys.
spent $2,000 a month on like
just that.
What?
My
Exactly.
hair alone
It's
costs
expensive.
like $500.
$2,000 covers like beauty things. to the
$120 every
end.
2 weeks.
Oh my God.
Eyelashes is
But and there's gonna be
$150.
yeah. I now know how.
See, Pearl can't fathom this. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because Pearl didn't grow up with vanity on the mind. Pearl is attractive, but she's not caked in makeup. She's not spending, now the 120 on nails every couple of weeks, that's accurate. That's accurate. Right? 120 on nails every couple of weeks, that's accurate. That's the way you have to do it. Devin gets her hair done probably every other month. Got her hair done today. I think it cost $160. But dude, $2,000 a month is way too much for cosmetics and makeup and all that. That's ridiculous. That's stupid.
Expensive. I said $2,000.
no, that's a certain-
I said, how
no.
much is your hair? How much is hair as a girl? $500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Especially if they're blonde.
I
What
spent
if she has, like,
$25
blondes?
on a straight fade
That's
with
stupid.
homie Rodrigo.
If you have
Shout
a
out to
blonde, that
Rodrigo,
number's
the babe
going up.
king.
What?
Okay.
This is crazy.
This is what I'm saying. This is reality. And by the way, the hotter and sexier a girl, the more you gotta pay.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Oh, you want some hussy from the streets?
Yeah.
Give her $50 a month, you're Gucci.
Yeah.
Yep.
You want a Miss USA contestant? She's asking for $10K a month.
You gotta
Okay.
shoot for the stars, and
If not, you reach the
Or
ceiling.
no, what's the saying?
Shoot for the moon,
and if you
land
miss,
on the
you still
stars.
end up
There we
among the
go.
stars.
That's the psychobabble.
Something like that.
That's what delusional
Aim
women say.
high, swing low.
Yeah, Mark LeBrant says Pearl is low maintenance. That's it. Pearl is absolutely low maintenance. That is attractive. Devin is also low maintenance. Devin is very, very, very low maintenance. She likes looking good for me, no doubt. No doubt. But Jesus. But Devin is low maintenance. She doesn't bitch and moan. Nope. She, if there's something that she needs to do to make herself look good, she asks me for it, and I give it to her. But she's not always in the mirror primping and no, fuck that. Honestly, Devin spends more time, this is real shit. Devin spends more time in the gym every day than in the mirror. You show me a girl that spends more time in the mirror every day than the gym, and I'll show you a fucking fat bitch. Show me a girl who spends more time in the mirror than she does in the gym, and I will show you a fat bitch. No, Devin doesn't have her makeup on all the time. She probably puts her makeup on at 2 or 3 in the afternoon after she trains at 1. But when I'm fucking her doggy style, her makeup doesn't matter because that ass and that back is looking real good. That's the way it is.
No.
Okay.
But speaking of upkeep, I do have to go to my boxing class.
Yes.
So.
Okay, last question
That's
for
worth
you,
it.
because I know you got to go. Then we're going to do a super chat, and then Natalia's going to take your seat. So I don't know if
Oh
anyone's
my
going to take
God.
Natalia's seat over there.
Oh, my
but
God. Okay, yeah. As soon as Natalia takes a seat, we're ending this because I can't deal with her.
Last question, and then we'll open up to the panels. You meet this dude. Amazing. He's the man. He's doing it. Not ideally, realistically, how much should he spend on your engagement ring?
Oh boy.
I've never.
Isn't there like a statistic? It should be.
Oh my God. It should be 30% of his 3 months of his year's salary.
Be like a third of his paycheck or something. I saw
think
that
it's supposed to
somewhere.
be like a third of 2 or 3 months.
I think
something
that
like
whole
that.
industry is fucking.
This is where all the girls are like,
I
I think it should be
love
this. I think it should be this. I think it should be this.
Devin, with some wisdom, she says, beware of a woman who looks for new ways to spend money. Wow. Ain't that the truth?
I'm like,
But
give
just
me
give
cubic zirconia.
Without doing
Wow.
like, long division, just give me a number he should spend on an engagement ring. You know numbers.
No, I don't. Obviously.
Heather, how much
She doesn't want to look. She doesn't want to look stupid.
should he
Very clear that
spend?
none of us have thought about these numbers.
At least I don't.
Pearl better tell the story of the ugly bitch who wanted a $200,000 engagement ring.
I don't know. Someone else go first. Why
Just
don't
say a
we
number,
know?
and then we'll go from there.
50K.
50K. Okay.
I
I don't even know what a 50K ring looks
Jesus
like.
I
By
mean,
the way-
my friend has a ring that's like 100K. So
Oh, here we go.
That one-
Of course she does. And if she has one, then you get one too.
One friend that
No.
married that one dude. Okay,
They're-
down the line here, how much should your man spend on an engagement
Ridiculous.
ring?
I don't know. I've literally never thought about that question. 5.
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily put a number because it depends on what level of man that you're dating, how much they're making.
There you
I
go.
would say
There you go.
don't embarrass me. Because
That's and that's honestly, believe it or not, I think that's probably a sensible answer. I don't care, just don't embarrass me. I'm good with that.
there are some rings, like I've gotten a necklace from a guy, he's like, Happy Valentine's Day. And I looked at it and I'm like, did you get this for $59 at Macy's? Like I could tell
Save that
like
money.
where it was from and like the quality.
Ain't that funny? A guy gave me a necklace on Valentine's Day, and she couldn't tell if it was real or fake. Uh-huh. That's what niggas do.
Oh,
But
wow.
for me personally, I don't even need a diamond because I lose
Just
shit all
don't
the time.
embarrass
I'm
me.
like, get me a really pretty ring that looks expensive that maybe not like isn't breaking the bank.
Emily, how much?
Okay.
I just want a pearl, honestly. That's all I want. So whoever a nice pearl is, that's what I'll
Okay.
take.
Well, just
Oh, what a unicorn. How about that? She's wife material.
got one right here. Just put her on your finger. Just put it right on your finger. Rock around with that for a little while. Nat, when you meet the man of your dreams, I know guys are sliding in that DM left and right these days. How much you want him to spend on the engagement ring?
Like a 50 grand ring.
I think. I mean, as you get married, you can upgrade your ring.
Oh, Jesus Christ. There it is. There it is. Beware of a woman who looks for new ways to spend money. There she goes. Just like old girl who wanted the Pagani. Oh, we'll go 5,000 square feet. But if we need to go bigger, then we'll go bigger. Like you can just press a button and yeah, okay.
Say starting.
Let me just preface this thing that I
But
might
I
get
would
a
say
better ring.
starting like 5,000 would be a good starting like minimum.
Hell, dude. Hell no. Fuck that noise. Fuck that noise. You can buy a car with 5 large. Fuck that.
Let me tell you guys a story, and then I'm going to read some stats, okay? So the girl that was getting her allowance that we're talking about right there, it was time to get her a ring. We got engaged. We didn't end up getting married or whatever. And be very careful the type of women that you bring your girl around. I'll say that again.
Yeah.
Be very careful, gentlemen, of the type of women you bring your girl around. So here I am.
Okay.
I'm dating this young girl. She's 10 years younger than me. I think I was 33 at the time. She was 23. I'm bringing her around all my successful friends
Oh, boy.
and their wives. And they're like, I've got this.
Did somebody fart?
I've got this handbag. I've got this. I've got this handbag. And these girls starts getting, speaking of delusions of grandeur. So let's say I'm making, at the time, $250,000 or $500,000 a year. Good money for a dude.
Yeah, of
But my
course.
boys are making millions, 10 millions. They're the biggest hotel nightlife guys in all of Miami. And these are the dinner tables, and these are the women that are surrounding my girl. So here's my girl who was broke as shit, just graduated college, 22, now she's 23, and she's like, yeah, well, like so-and-so has a $10,000 bag, so that's kind of what I want.
No, bitch. No, bitch. I'm not about to spend 4% of my yearly salary just so you can say you got a bag. Fuck that.
And so-and-so has a $100,000 ring, so this is kind of where I'm at. I'm like, you were homeless and hungry when I met you, baby.
Right.
But that's
Now
also
this is what you
that's
want.
why it's so
Be
important.
very careful, gentlemen.
That's why it's so important to make sure you're choosing the right woman, because if it was
Oh,
the right
yeah.
woman for you, and clearly
Yeah.
it wasn't because you guys broke up, she
Yeah.
would have wanted to build your empire and work with you to make sure that she wasn't trying to make you go broke with materialistic.
I
things.
agree.
That was actually, wow. Whoa. Was that actually wisdom out of Fat Red? Who knew?
I have a question.
Let me do this, and then she's gotta go. I agree with you.
What?
But here's why I disagree
It's a
with
different
you.
level here.
Because no matter what that girl's mindset is, no matter how much you can train her or educate you, women are very impressionable.
Of
And
course
if
they are, yes.
she's the one girl with a Kate Spade bag, and all her friends have Louis Vuitton bags, she's gonna be like, oh, you're that bitch. Okay, got it. Yeah, you're the broke girl. And like,
Yep.
women are emotional, and then she's gonna come home and be like, why don't I have the Balenciaga bag or whatever? And I'm like, because they're child rapists, that's why. But you know, but these are the types of things that men need to understand when you're bringing your women. So now, when I meet a girl, I'm like, you ain't meeting any of my rich friends'
Hell no.
wives. Like, you're meeting all my broke friends' wives. Okay?
Makes
You're
sense.
meeting I'm the richest one of my friends. All my friends are brokies. You're lucky you have a roof over your head. And that's how you get to the right mindset.
I feel like this is why a lot of guys are opting out of marriage today. Is because they're like, okay, you want this expensive ass ring, and then I got to pay for this expensive ass wedding.
That's right.
Forget the milk that I already get for free.
Why buy the cow and you
Yeah,
get the milk
there
for
it
free?
is.
Last point, because Heather has to go. By the way, just so we got this here, how much did you spend on your engagement ring? The average cost that a guy spends, $6,000.
Oh,
Okay.
By the way,
realistic.
Oh my God.
how much does the average girl spend when she proposes to a man? What do you think?
she shouldn't.
Oh,
That
100?
happens.
Trick question. Girls don't do
Yeah, I
that
was
shit.
gonna say.
Thank you.
Girls ain't spending nothing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Never.
So just keep that in mind, ladies, that the man is the one that has to spend this type of money. By the way, what percentage of men spend over $10,000 on an engagement ring? What percentage of men spend over 10 grand?
Oh my
So by the way, when I
God.
bought a ring for my girl at the time, 25 grand I spent.
What?
I got it back. And then the economy hit. It was an issue. I think I got like 12
Wow.
fucked up.
That is fucked.
What
Dude, he took a $12,000 bath on an engagement ring. God, or a $13,000 bath on an engagement ring. Jesus.
percentage of men will spend over 10K? Go.
Oh my God.
5.
5,
Ugh.
8,
12.
12,
10.
10, Nat.
7.
Nat's the winner, chicken dinner. 7% of men. So just ladies out there, gentlemen out there, we talk about idealistically and then realistically. Most men are not making 6 figures. Only 13% of them. Most men are not spending more than 10 grand to buy an engagement ring. Only
right.
7%.
That's right.
Most men make 38K a year. Guys, if you want hotter, better, classier, doper women, you got to make more money because they got demands. With that being said, this beautiful girl has to leave right now. Heather, clap it up for Heather, ladies and gentlemen, right there.
All right. I think I'm going to leave it right there. Let me. Beliza Guitars with the $5 super chat says, "How about this? The more your wedding ring costs, the closer to home our honeymoon will be." That's actually quite logical. Kevin's Corner $2 super chat says, "Father of the bride is to pay for the wedding." That's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's why you have to raise your daughters, right? Because you don't want to blow all that money on a wedding for a hoe-ass daughter. All right. Hell of a show today, guys. Hell of a show today. This weekend, this is going to be a fairly big sports weekend. By the way, guys, we have new pricing on TSR Academy. We have new pricing. Let me pull it up here. We have new pricing on TSR Academy. We're having a big sale. We have slashed all of our prices. We have slashed all of our prices on all of the products, and we are doing a weekend-long sale. We're doing a weekend-long sale. 50% off. 50% off anything at the TSR Academy store. Just use coupon code NEW50. NEW50. We have plagiarized the great and powerful MLD, Money, Muscles, Game, and Frame. New year, new you, new lower pricing, 50% off. So you're going to get the lower pricing plus an additional 50% off with coupon code NEW50. That is this weekend only at tsracademy.com. So make sure you get your shekels together to get your hands on this life-changing information. I am going to now take a much-needed shower. I lined up my hair a little bit yesterday. I'll probably cut it before I go to Miami. But as a reminder, guys, I'm actually going to be on the Saucecast. I will be on with Adam Sosnick and MLD on the 12th. Because I just got the interview confirmation. Yep. January 12th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be on the Saucecast on the 12th. It will be me and MLD on Saucecast. I don't know who our opponents will be, but that'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to doing Saucecast with MLD, but I am looking much more forward to doing Fresh and Fit After Hours with MLD. We've both done Fresh and Fit After Hours. We've never done it together. That's gonna be fucking. That is gonna be fucking epic. I can't wait. I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. Like, dude, something about. I think what I like the most about Fresh and Fit. I think what I like the most about watching and doing Fresh and Fit is that it's fun. Like when I'm in the gym working out, or I'm doing writing or whatever, and I'm just watching Fresh and Fit, it's just fun. It's fun. When I'm in the studio doing Fresh and Fit, it's a fucking party. It's a fucking party, man. It is a fucking party. I love it. And me and MLD, man, me and MLD, we go back a long way. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be fucking crazy. That is gonna be legendary. I don't even. Oh my god, dude, these bitches don't have a chance. They really, really don't. That is going to do it for this, the 917th edition of TSR Live. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Thank you to the new members. Thank you for all of the
She gon' need a babysitter. Call a babysitter.
Have a good weekend, guys.
She gon' need a babysitter. Five mommies in the club. She gon' need a babysitter. Call a babysitter. She gon' need a babysitter. Five mommies in the club.
The club stops for nothing. She gotta get that party out her system somehow, and the bar's still jumping. So get your squad to meet with my squad in the car, straight bumping your favorite song about how men ain't shit and hit up the function. Only thing that can stop me is if a baby daddy run up on me. I'm with your baby mama, but she ain't got no baby body. I'm in the blazing sign. I've been rocking with the lady drama, product of what I drop, and I ain't about to waste a condom. Her last man had a problem with Ativan, and if he find out where she's hanging, he'll get in his battle stance. Now the club ain't no church and the church ain't no club, but she's happy to get her drink on and leave with a broke bum. And they'll call this misogynistic, like booty popping and pimping, cause I'm trying to fuck, but I'm also wondering where her kids is. And girls wanna dance to songs that refer to women as bitches. If you let your kids dance to it too, don't cancel me for tripping.
Mommy's in the club. She gon' need a babysitter. Call a babysitter. She gon' need a babysitter. Mommy's in the club.